1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Welcome back to the Racial Draft Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Ford, joined by my co-host, Kia Lisi herself.
Hi, guys.
You may as well enjoy the benefit of an extended introduction.
Oh yeah, like hardly anybody's here. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it's me. Just coming back at you, like watching this racial draft thing go on and seeing who's gonna win and who's not gonna win. And yeah, I'm just excited to be here. Thanks, Mike.
And we are joined this week by a very special guest from the South Asian delegation, Arjun. Introduce yourself to the people.
Hi, I'm Arjun. I'm glad to be a part of this, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. And, as very special guest, this is your first appearance on the podcast. You have a little bit of a platform to tell the people a little bit more about yourself. Just kind of, all your socials, what you do for fun, all that stuff.
I'm a very basic person. Big Raptors fan, big comics fan, big Star Wars fan. That's pretty much me.
Okay. Raptors, is that, now you're from Toronto, correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you also a Drake fan?
Sure. I guess so.
I didn't know. I don't know how that works. I don't know if you're allowed to not be a Drake fan. Or
No, I'm not allowed to be, but I can't say that I fully am. So.
All right, fair enough. And as far as comics, do you consider yourself more of a Marvel person or a DC person?
Consider myself more of a Marvel person. Yeah.
All right, cool. And who would you say your favorite character is?
It's an obvious answer, but Kamala Khan.
I mean, I wasn't going to be presumptuous. I mean, presumably you've been a fan of comics, long enough that you have another character that's near and dear to your heart.
Yeah, Matt Murdock.
Fair. Okay, Matt Murdock. Yeah,
Oh.
Daredevil. Nice.
Okay, I see that. I like that.
Do you have a favorite Daredevil arc?
Not particularly, but I love Olive Sewell's run and Olive Wade's run above everything.
Gotcha. So you're more about happy Matt or sad Matt?
Yes. Happy Matt is great. I do like Zdarsky's sad Matt, but happy Matt is just the way to go for me. It just makes me feel happy as well.
All right. So you're new to us for season 2. What were your thoughts overall about season 1 of the Racial Draft?
I've only listened to quite a few. I haven't listened to quite a few episodes, but I like it a lot.
I mean, I guess I more meant about from the overall perspective, not necessarily I'm not fishing for compliments or whatever. I was just kind of thinking in terms of which delegations do you think were your favorites in terms of the picks that they made, and where do you think as a new entrant, what new energy do you think you'll be bringing to the draft?
I think for me personally, what I'll be bringing is kind of unique perspectives, unique picks, and stuff like that. I try not to just go for the main stuff in terms of my thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I try to think outside the box most of the time. I don't like a lot of main characters. I like the sort of supporting characters who may not get as much limelight.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's weird though, because it feels like a lot of season 1 were people thinking outside the box. Me personally, I like to think about it kind of obviously I'm not participating as a delegate or a captain or what have you, but I sort of think about it in the sense of who is a character that maximizes the visibility of the delegation and of the group.
Right, and who would fit sorry to interrupt, but
no,
right.
I mean, for sure, I want to hear your perspective.
More of my thinking would be who fits the best with this particular delegation. That's what what type of incorporates the cultures here that I can choose in like that type of manner. I'm
Right.
phrasing it really bad, but
No. I mean, I sort of like I think that's I think for me it's as a sort of observer and someone who likes to predict what people are gonna do. Like I sort of think about it as, all right, who's the pool of characters that would fit, and then
yeah.
among like picking among that group, like who are
Right.
the biggest, and working my way down from like the
Well,
biggest versions of those characters to the smallest versions.
well, Arjun, what is your overall goal while playing the racial draft?
Just kind of want to assemble a team of characters that I think best fits the delegation. And haven't thought. That's a really good question, Kia. I haven't got a lot of thought towards that, but I think mostly just like who fits the type of parameters that I'm given to play with.
Okay. All right. I like that. Great
Yeah, as
answer.
as you know, Kia's main goal last year was to accumulate the most FCL points, and I think the strategy was sound. It was a strategy of characters that were high profile and high usage, as far as they're going to show up in as many books as possible. And given that she's the multiracial delegation, well, she represented the multiracial delegation in season one. She had a lot of flexibility with regard to imagination, and even though you didn't take advantage of backstories here, it was fairly easy for us to imagine backstories for you. But
That is true.
which is a good transition, because you have not given us backstories for your characters. I don't want to tip of the hand for the listeners who may not have been following, but we can at least mention the first round pick for your delegation, which would have been Doctor Strange. Would you like to say a few words about South Asian Doctor Strange?
Um, it just felt right to me, that pick,
Hmm.
specifically on that character. Um, I felt like a lot of people from that delegation can identify with that character, especially like with the elements of where the powers come from and everything, and
Hmm.
the whole Kamartaj thing, and just the whole Nepal and everything. Just that really like screamed kind of like the culture that we're working with here, and
Right.
I thought it felt natural. The character has a presence in the comics. He's got a presence in the cinematic universe, and I felt like it was a strong pick. So, yeah.
Oh no, it was definitely a strong pick. I mean, I'm pulling up the. I forgot that you submitted a backstory over the course of the week, so I may as well read it
Yeah, I was
for the
quite
readers.
impressed. Quite
Um,
impressed by that pick.
Stephen Strange was born to parents who were Indian immigrants, whom he lost when he was a young child due to an unforeseen accident. After this accident, Strange vowed to become a doctor, as his parents wanted him to, and so he could save lives. He found much success in the medical field and eventually became a surgeon. History repeated itself, unfortunately, and Strange found himself the victim of a brutal car accident. As a result of the accident, Strange lost control of his hands and searched for every possible opportunity to regain the life he once had. In need of a spiritual cleanse, Strange arrived in India to meet some relatives, and upon his journey, found the Sanctum Sanctorum. He then learned sorcery from the Ancient One, and he eventually became the Sorcerer Supreme. Yeah, I mean it's a good. It grafts well to the existing Doctor Strange backstory. you know um I from some of the like Desi friends that I know, um talk about how important being a doctor could be, in terms
Right.
of,
That's kind of that kind of influenced that kind of decision. Yeah.
you know so I mean, it felt like a perfect match for me, even in terms of, with his facial hair. Like, all he needs to be is kind of like just slightly darker, and
Exactly.
Mhm.
he's right there. Did you have a fan cast in mind? I mean, I think we kind of collectively, um, fan cast. I'm forgetting his name now. Um,
Rahul
sorry.
Kohli.
No, no, we didn't fan cast him. Give me a second. We fan cast Sandil Ramathirty, who I really probably butchered his name. Um,
That sounded like it.
yeah. Let me try that again. Sandil Ramamurthy.
Oh,
Um,
butchered it again.
okay, why
Trust me,
don't you?
that's not as bad as butchering as what I've heard in my lifetime. That is not nearly as bad as some of the butchering I've heard.
Well, that is such a backhanded compliment, but I'll take it. Would you like to try, Kia?
I have a speech impediment, so nope.
All right. Well, I'm gonna do my best. And what's yeah. So he's like I had said on the podcast last week. He's Indian. He's played doctors in the past, and he's a really good-looking guy. And Doctor Strange does have a reputation for being a bit of a ladies' man, so I could definitely see him in the
Is
role. But
that
I don't know.
strange?
I didn't know if you had an actor in mind, though.
No, he sounds good to me. I really didn't have a particular actor in mind, but that sounds like a good fan cast.
All right, sounds great. Um, I suppose we'll go a little bit off format this week, given that you don't have a lot of time with us. You kicked off the second round with your pick, and why don't you let the people know what that pick was for the second round?
Yeah, so we got Kara Danvers, Supergirl, and I'm pretty happy with it. I kind of felt like, who do I think of someone from this delegation playing that character? And I think Naomi Scott immediately, and that kind of just drove my decision.
Oh, okay, gotcha. No,
Hmm.
Naomi Scott is a fine choice.
And
Um,
Carol Danvers is a fine choice. She was on the multiracial team last
no, no, no,
season.
no, not Carol Danvers. Kara, Kara Zor-El, aka Kara Danvers, Supergirl.
Oh, never
It's
mind. I take that back. Bye.
it's okay. I mean, it's kind of funny to think about just how close those two names are, especially given the roles that they occupy. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to I'm not going to ask you as a Marvel person why you chose Supergirl. I'm going to assume that you have a larger strategy at work. Um, did you happen to think through uh, somewhat tweaks of the backstory to make her work as South Asian?
I've given a little bit of thought to it, but not a lot. I need to add more thought to it. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. That's cool. Um, let me look. Let me pull up how it came up in terms of approval rating. Kia, you can vamp while I do this.
Oh, I mean, questions for Arjun. This is exciting. So tell me a little bit more about Toronto, Arjun.
Well, headed into lockdown.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, very
I like
much
to get
so.
locked down with Drake.
I should have known.
Hmm.
I should have known.
How long have you lived there?
Whole life.
Do you want to leave?
Absolutely not.
Really? Why not?
It's just great. It's just great here.
You're trying to get the man to crap on his hometown. That is his city.
I was trying to get him to do it just a little
Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm. Can't believe
to
it.
say somewhere else was better.
All right, so according to the people gave it an 80% approval rating, which was 65% strongly approve, 15% somewhat approve, 5% somewhat disapprove, and 15% strongly disapprove. Um, that's it's fairly high level of strongly disapprove. I don't know if I agree with that. I like the character. I've watched the television show. I've read a couple Supergirl books. I do think that my only quibble would have been that in terms of like profile, Supergirl is probably more of like a second, maybe third tier DC
Right.
character, and of course in the second round was probably still a lot of top tier characters on the board. For those of you who need a little more background, and in terms of Supergirl's backstory, I'm going to go ahead and read from the DC Wiki. Supergirl is Kara Zor-El, Superman's cousin from the planet Krypton, and one of the most powerful heroes in the universe. She has been a member of the Justice League, the League of Superheroes, and the Red Lantern Corps. The Supergirl moniker is a legacy name also used by other female superheroes involved in Superman and the Superman family, like Matrix, a shape-shifting creature from the Pocket Universe who would later fuse with a woman named Linda Danvers, developing angelic powers. Power Girl is the Earth 2 version. So that's a little Supergirl. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what you've got cooked up for round 3 and beyond.
Thank you,
You know,
thank you.
I know we don't have a lot more. I don't know we don't have a lot of time, so I'm gonna give you a little bit more time to kind of speak your piece.
Um, I just felt the pick was right. I kind of vibed with that pick. Um, it's more of a gut feeling pick than a logical pick, to be quite honest.
Okay. So
Yeah.
do you have thoughts that Supergirl is gonna have a big role in the upcoming kind of DC regime in this post future state? Um, I forgot what the new regime is going to be called. I believe it's Infinite Frontier. Um, do you think that Supergirl is going to have a big role to play?
I don't really know. I haven't been keeping up with the future state news that much, but I hope so.
All right. Well, we have a couple drop-ins. We have from the Latinx delegation, Martine, the adorable one
Extras.
himself,
Oh.
Yeah.
and
Another
we also have from the black delegation, Randy. Why doesn't everybody say hi to Arjun?
Hey,
Hello.
Randy.
Hello,
Hey,
hello.
folks.
Arjun only has a couple more minutes with us, so
Oh,
would
okay.
But what were your thoughts about the Supergirl pick?
Um, I think I liked it. I don't know like how much she's. I know she's gonna be used. Obviously, she's gonna show up in the Superman Superman stories. She has her own show, so who knows when that's gonna come back up. But I think it's a good pick. Uh, I don't remember. Did you put in a story? Because I don't remember reading one.
Working on it, working on it.
Working on it? Okay. Because I would love to see how that connects to the other super pick that happened later on in the draft. See if there's any like connection or how a workaround around that. But I think it's a good one. I am gonna look forward, and like you, I do hope like she's gonna be used a bit more. You know?
And just for Arjun had a fan casting of Naomi Scott as Supergirl.
Okay. Yeah,
Hmm.
that works.
What about you, Randy? Do you have any thoughts on the Supergirl pick?
Well, I follow a couple of people on Twitter who are Supergirl fans, and they definitely are feeling like um she's kind of been sidelined and is not really used as often. So yeah, I'm really hopeful that she'll show up more. As was stated, she's going to be showing up. I believe Bendis is going to be writing her, or she's going to be showing up alongside Superman.
Mhm.
So I feel like they're trying a little bit more, but I kind of it kind of remains to be seen. So I hope that we do get a chance to see her more in action.
All right. Well, Arjun, I don't want to keep you. But it's been great to have you. Hopefully, we can have you back soon.
Yes, thank you. I hope so.
All right.
Thanks for coming.
No
Sure.
problem. Thank you for having me. And
I'm
Mike, I sent you those pics. I sent you those pics, the four protected pics or whatever.
cool. Yeah. So later in
All
the
right.
show, we'll have Arjun's nominees for the poll, but I don't want to spoil anyone. You're gonna have to keep listening in order to find out who those characters will be.
Yeah.
We call that a tease. But let's but let's go on. Let's see who. Let's go back through. Like as I said, that was the first pick of round 2, Supergirl, and the next pick in round 2 was the Jewish delegation, and they selected a different Danvers. They selected Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel. Now they
Mm.
they yet again They yet again did not submit a backstory.
Hmm.
However, I will say that in terms of approval rating, they were the first delegation to receive a 100% approval rating, which is a 78.6 strongly approve and 21.4 somewhat approve. So 100% approval rating for Captain Marvel.
I
Um,
disapproved.
well, you did not make your voice heard on the poll.
Yes, because I didn't want them to come for me.
These, but you said it on the podcast.
But
Are
I
you
said
saying?
on the
Are you
podcast.
are you saying that they don't listen to the podcast? Is this what's
I
happening
could
here?
be saying that. I mean, it's a 50-50 shot. I don't know.
Well,
We'll see.
your secret's safe with me.
And all of our listeners.
Listeners.
So
Sorry to
what?
interject. Can I just interject really quickly?
Yeah, sure. You're still here.
All right. Yeah, sorry to interject, folks, but I gotta leave now.
Okay, sure.
Have a great day, guys.
All right. Bye.
All right, man.
Thanks for coming.
Bye. But
Hey, Randy, real quick. Are you following me on Twitter?
I am not sure.
You should probably fix that if that's not happening. Just saying.
I mean, I
That's
think
true.
all the listeners should follow Kia on Twitter. Kia, why don't you let everybody know what your Twitter handle is?
Oh, well, I mean, now that you've asked, give 'em the actual one, not the troll one. It's at Kia BIZM. So Kia Bism. But the name you can look under Kia Lisi, which is KIALEESI. Yep, follow me. Especially you, Randy.
Okay.
Done.
But yeah, back to Captain Marvel. Kia, you of course are intimately familiar with Captain Marvel,
Yes.
being in your delegation last season. What were your thoughts of Captain Marvel as a member of the multiracial delegation?
Well, I was happy that she was on my team, but now that she's on the Jewish team, yeah, I'm not even a fan anymore.
There
Yeah.
we go. And there you have it. What about you, Randy? Are you a fan of the character?
I'm not really like familiar with her, but I feel like last time we got like a really good backstory as far as I think it was the Living Tribunal from the Jewish delegation.
So you're just looking forward to them reinventing the character, I suppose.
I'm always excited to kind of see like connections that are sort of unexpected, and you're like, how do you draw the line between that character with that particular culture? So I'm here for the story at least.
All right, so I will read from the Marvel Wiki. Give me a moment because there's a lot of Captain Marvel in the Marvel Wiki.
How about that?
How about that? But Carol Danvers, Cree name Carol, aka Captain Marvel, formerly Ms. Marvel, a former American astronaut and USAF test pilot who worked for NASA. She became head of security at NASA when it was infiltrated by a Kree soldier named Captain Marvel. She was accidentally subjected to the psych magnetron and mutated on a genetic level, becoming a human Kree hybrid superhuman warrior. Calling herself Ms. Marvel, she established herself as one of the most prominent heroes on Earth. She later became a member of the Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. She was later put in a coma by a mutant rogue who absorbed her powers. When she recovered, she regained her powers as binary. Carol went on to adopt the mantle of Captain Marvel for herself. So,
And I was actually too. I forgot to mention. Like last season, Carol was a 5th round pick, and now she's like a 2nd round pick. What's up with that?
well, that just goes to show that she was underrated in the first season, and people more properly recognize her value.
And she was
We have
Blasian.
Kia.
So Blasian
have-
versus Jewish Carol Danvers. I mean, come on, who's better? Let's be honest.
We have Kia to thank for raising Carol's profile. Thank you, Kia.
Yeah,
I'm taking a bow.
Kia and Brie Larson, but mostly Kia.
Yeah, of course. Follow me because of that.
And as we know, Captain Marvel 2 is going to come out in 2 years, 3 years, a couple years, and it's going to be there's going to be a movie involved. She may appear in the Kamala Khan, Ms. Marvel Disney Plus series, so there may be some points there. Who knows where she could pop up? So, and like I said, it was 100% approval rating. Good on the Jewish
Not
delegation.
anymore. I better go fix that.
Goes over.
Oh.
You had your chance.
Dang. Gosh, Twitter.
Now we must mention the third pick of the second round.
Mhm.
Wait, but can we also just talk about how like the Jewish delegation missed Superman? Can we talk about that real quick?
Yeah, we're talking about it right now because we talk
Yeah.
about
Okay,
the,
okay. I just wanted to point that out.
Yes, let's discuss this.
Let's discuss. Let's discuss our disgust as the white delegation, who is conveniently absent this week.
Hmm.
You know, not willing to speak for himself and defend himself, but of course, sitting there for the taking is Kal-El. I shouldn't have to tell everyone his backstory. We should all know it.
Yeah.
But Superman was the pick by the white delegation, one of the big time god tier characters sitting out there
Just hanging out.
hanging
Just
out.
hanging out. And 2 teams missed him. 2.
Yeah.
2.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They sure did.
Oh, I can just feel the points. Oh, I can just feel it. Oh, just smacking them all in the face.
This is-
Yeah.
This is gonna probably be a good discussion.
So let me go ahead and read the origin that everybody knows.
Mhm.
Superman is the last son of Krypton, sent as the dying planet's last hope to Earth, where he grew to become its protector. Though he was apparently killed shortly after Darkseid War, his essence merged with the new Earth Superman in Rebirth, creating a new merged timeline for Superman. Oh, that's the current.
Mhm.
That is the current incarnation of Superman, based on all of DC shenanigans. You know how I love a multiverse.
Yeah.
Superman is the most powerful being on Earth, an alien immigrant named Kal-El from the planet Krypton, who was raised in Smallville, Kansas, to become an American superhero. Raised with high moral ideals, he uses incredible strength, speed, flight, and various other superpowers to fight evil and to protect the innocent. In his civilian identity, he is Clark Kent, a mild-mannered reporter working for the Daily Planet in Metropolis. He's a founding member of the Justice League of America and a member of the Legion of Superheroes in the 30th century. In not so many words, he's one of, if not the flagship character for DC Comics, and probably
Debatable.
one of the most identifiable symbols in the world.
Mhm.
Paragon of virtue, paragon of goodness, and
Mhm.
he's a white man.
Mhm.
Going
Wow.
around
No.
going around the room? How does that make us feel? How does that make us feel?
Now,
Uh,
see, with Superman, he already was like white. I guess white passing anyway. Like he's an alien, but he's already like a white guy anyway.
Because he's
So
from Kansas?
well, I'm saying he's already like if we were to look at him, we wouldn't be like, oh wow, gee, I wonder if he's Arab, or I wonder if he's black. No,
Well, he did have dark hair. I mean, he could have been technically like
but on top of that, of course, you keep the white character white. Okay, fine. But to add insult to injury, Shaun had to.
Well, oh wait, wait, nope. I have to step in. I have to
not
step
gonna
in.
spoil it, but
No,
I'm
I
just
have to.
saying.
I have to step in. He does not have an official. There is not an official backstory yet.
Oh, okay. Well, so he just was tormenting us with that on Twitter. Okay, I see.
oh, well, it's share anyway.
I mean, basically, like it was. I don't know. It kind of rubbed me the wrong way that somebody with melanin didn't get him. But alas, I'm going on too long.
So I will, since Sean has mentioned his intentions for the character, I'll go ahead and state it here for the listeners. Sean is Canadian, and
Mhm.
Sean has decided that he's going to make Superman Canadian as well. Um, and you know what? Weirdly enough, I'm kind of okay with that.
Mhm.
I'm actually okay with that too.
Because if we've learned anything about this last year in America,
Say it,
I
Mike.
mean,
Kansas probably ain't the way to go. Just like,
yeah, we got the can part right. Canada. There's probably a lot of Smallvilles in Canada,
Hmm.
you know.
For sure.
And as we know, it's probably easier to be an immigrant, a Canadian immigrant, than an immigrant from anywhere else in the world. You know, it's not
Not
a
the
lot of
feeling.
wholesome. Like Clark Kent probably apologizes a lot. You know,
yeah.
he's well mannered and well
And don't you
meaning.
know?
Now
Well,
see,
not
I wasn't actually aware of the new Canadian backstory, but I remember Sean was like tormenting us with like we're gonna make him Irish.
no, yeah, he kicked around a bunch of different ideas, but he settled on
Mhm.
Canada. He's
I,
he's
I
he's
was
he's gonna make him French Canadian as well, so he'll have a little bit of that George St. Pierre accent. You
Mhm.
I
know,
love it. I'd do that. That's a good
yeah,
that
Superman.
that
Mhm.
I can be a little bit more okay with.
yeah. So I mean, I'm here for it. I'm here for extra white Canadian. He's from the Great White North. You know, the
Uh-huh.
the Fortress of Solitude is would probably be in Canada.
Hmm.
So
Martine, what do you think?
Uh, the my true thoughts is that he should not have been able to get him.
Yes.
I
Thank
really, he had two delegations in front of him, and neither one, like,
Nathan.
they never considered Superman. Like, you have
Nothing.
a Trinity. There are three characters that are probably gonna put up a bunch of points, right?
well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Superman is still on the board, and no one saved him on a poll. You take Superman. Like,
Tell Martine. Tell.
like,
I can't.
like.
well, my
Arjun's
feeling
line,
is
like, you
that
got,
my
yeah.
feeling is that who would have expected that Supergirl would have gone before Superman?
Right.
That's
Right.
like
Exactly.
Right?
I was surprised as well. I mean, like, it was a good pick by Arjun, but like look at what's going to go on for Superman. He's got his own book, right? He's got
Yep,
two books
two
actually,
books.
Superman and Action Comics. He's going to be in the
Dope.
Justice League stuff.
Right.
He's
He's
going to
got
be
Superman
in
and
Batman
Superman
and
and
Superman.
Batman. Yep.
Superman and Batman.
He's got a Superman
and
TV
Lois
show.
Superman and
Yes.
Lois starting the week before our points start scoring.
Right.
That is
Yeah.
Not to
five
mention,
fucking things.
the Snyder cut.
Yes, that's also going to be
That
coming in
too.
March as well. So that's another thing. That is six fucking things that Superman's going to put up points for. And you're telling me that they let Shaun get him?
I mean, okay. I can give Arjun.
Yeah.
It's his first season. I can give him a
Yeah.
waiver. But the Jewish delegation. Oh,
Right.
oh hell
Was
to the no.
was not Superman created by Jewish creators?
Oh,
Yeah. So that's just, it's
Well, but
surprising to me.
It's kind of even more. Yeah, it's kind of even more surprising when we've heard. I believe we've either heard Adam or Annie, before mention like how I mean Jewish people generally have mentioned how similar the story is of like
yeah.
being sent.
Andy said that.
You know, yeah, exactly. So I'm like, it blew me away for sure.
Like, it just, why? That's all I have to say. It's like, why? You know?
I mean, I feel you. Like, as much as I like Captain Marvel as a character. But what I would say is that Captain
She's
Marvel, in a lot
Superman.
of ways, is
She's
in a
not
lot of ways
Superman.
Marvel's Superman. But
Right,
several
that's what they're
several
going for now.
levels below Superman actual.
Yeah. Fifth
Right.
Yeah.
round
Right.
pick. Fifth round pick.
So
She's the right pick for the wrong round. So yeah.
Yeah.
so
The only reason why multiracial delegation did not take Superman in the first season, and that's because technically I was not captain yet.
Fair.
Oh God, why?
Well, shout out to Nate. The
Or
But I
not.
bet you, when black
Or
people
not.
get the first round pick,
so
you're going to be the first round pick.
so let's look at the approval rating
Yeah,
because the people made their disapproval known.
uh,
They now, to be fair, as a pick from a strategic perspective,
yeah,
He did
pick
it
was
right.
very
Yeah.
he's
good.
a good pick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Great pick.
The people though gave it a 57.1% approval rating, which is 31.1% strongly approved, 19% somewhat approve, 14.3% somewhat disapprove, and 28.6% strongly disapprove. How many people of color are there in America? I'd say somewhere in the neighborhood of 28.6%. So, you know, the rich get richer.
It
Um,
baffles me.
good luck, to white delegation and their classic white hero. I only take solace in the fact that he's no longer American. So maybe there will be some dissension
Wait, say that
in
one
the.
more time.
He's no longer American. He can't carry around that American flag.
Truth, justice, and the Canadian way.
Truth, justice, and the Caucasian way.
Oh no.
Well, actually, I mean, because
Let's
he's
just stick to
Canadian,
Canadian way.
I don't feel like he's gonna be like that bad of a white guy.
That's how they get you.
we can fan cast what's his face?
The president?
Justin Trudeau.
Justin
Yeah,
Trudeau.
that-
For now, I mean, I know Shaun has a fan cast in mind, but since he's not here, to officially say it. We're gonna save it for when he comes
Right.
back, when he defends himself, or more likely
I mean,
stunts on us for
yeah,
having Superman.
he's just gonna stun on us because at the end of the day, like, it's a solid pick points wise, like, and he's here to win. I told him
Yeah.
to bring
Yeah.
it.
You told him to play to win,
Did.
and he
I
said,
I did. Because I wasn't gonna have Martine just win this bitch. Nope.
well, speaking of people who were here, but not necessarily playing to win. Our buddy Joaquin, speaking on behalf of the Native American delegation, brought both a pick and a backstory. Now, unfortunately, it's a little bit controversial because it's more of a first season backstory than a second season backstory. But I'll go ahead and say who the pick is.
Ooh, that was a burn.
The the pick was the Vision. Now I'll go ahead and read from the Marvel Wiki for the Vision.
My face is what Randy looks like right now in his picture.
The Vision was a synthezoid, an advanced android built to replicate the human form using Horton cells, with a solar gem to give him consciousness. He was constructed by Ultron, using parts of the original Human Torch, which was created by Phineas Horton. He was later modified using brain patterns partially based on those of Wonder Man, and then Alex Lipton. He turned on his creator and joined the Avengers, becoming one of the leading members. So that's the classic Vision backstory. Vision, as you know,
I was like, there's no death in there. Wait, that couldn't have been.
Oh, it's coming.
That could not have been his. There's no way.
However,
Uh-huh.
remixed Native American style. Timothy stands against is an MIT alumnus who graduated at the top of his class with a PhD in robotics, artificial intelligence, of computer science systems, and biomechanics. He is quickly recruited by SHIELD, and after spending nearly a decade with the organization, he's diagnosed with a rare form of cancer. Unable to find sufficient treatment or surgery, he becomes desperate to carry on his work after being so close to a breakthrough for biomechanics. After months of failures and experiments, he can feel himself getting sicker. Timothy goes to one of SHIELD's top secret holding facilities. He bypasses security protocols and manages to find the Mind Stone, a relic SHIELD has kept since the Avengers battles. He grabs it. Upon doing so, his mind is flooded with ideas, blueprints, and schematics of unplanned technology. Finally, a way to heal himself. He puts the pebble of forbidden knowledge in his pocket and quickly leaves the facility. Off in a secluded cabin, and after grabbing much needed equipment and tools, he quickly begins to build. His body grows weaker, but the stone gives him the drive to keep going. Finally, he finds a new body. A ghostly pale shade covers the exterior. Knowing the stone will be the driving force, he straps in. Using the technology he quickly learned, he activates the machines. The AI quickly takes over the functionality of his brain, slowly shutting it down and shifting his consciousness to his new body. The lights go out and the machine shut down, leaving only two bright eyes piercing the darkness. He feels nothing. Yet with his memories stored in the gem, he's beginning to remember who he is. The visions of what he has done are starting to mess with him. Unsure of his path, he slowly learns of his powers. Super strength, intangibility, super intelligence, a mind beam, and quickly becoming a technopath. The vision comes to life.
Kind of sounds like what's gonna happen on the 21st to me.
That's right! 21st time!
Oh, I feel it already. Super strength.
Right. So I mean, it might be more for better fit for the black delegation.
I mean, just saying.
September 21st, I turn into the vision. But I mean, it will take a little bit of reconciling in order to fit this new backstory in the confines of the classic. I mean, given its connections to Ultron and Wonder Man, and of course Scarlet Witch. That's a big part of the Vision story. But it's a fair starting point. I like the creativity, but it is a bit of a radical departure from what we're trying to kind of go for in terms of staying in the guide rails, so to speak,
Yeah.
of the
Rules are more like guidelines.
exactly. However, it did. Let's find out what the people thought in terms of approval rating. The people gave the Vision an 83.3% approval rating. That would be 44.4 strongly approve, 38.9% somewhat approve, 5.6% somewhat disapprove, and 11.1 strongly disapprove. Um, you know, I mean, obviously, a lot of the voting was done before the backstory. I would imagine that the backstory may have lifted the approval a little bit. But on the other hand, as far as a second round pick is concerned, could have probably waited on the Vision.
Yeah.
WandaVision is kicking off in January, but it's a good chance that WandaVision will be over by the time we start scoring. So he may not get any of the scoring in that perspective. There's a possibility, of course, that the Vision will get more appearances. He, of course, there's the classic Tom King Vision run, which is probably never going to be exceeded, but we can imagine that the Vision will pop up in comics in January and February to kind of coincide with the increased profile from the books. I think currently, given that Viv Vision is kind of a big deal in the comics, that Daddy Vision will get some kind of a profile. But I don't know. I don't see him having kind of A-list upside, which is probably what you want to be shooting for still. With a second round pick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like even though always has been a really cool character just as a concept. But yeah, he's really inconsistent as far as like a guaranteed appearance. we're in comics right now. So I mean, that is, I mean, it is truly a kind of a first season pick, just because we were sort of in the frame of like, who just kind of focusing more story wise, who would be like fun or interesting to try to reincorporate, rather than being too particularly strategic. But I do believe that I can see the spark of optimism in that choice, just because of how well Marvel tends to kind of coincide comic appearances with movie and TV
Hmm.
um, outings. So I don't, it's not completely out of left field to kind of imagine that there might be room for this character to be in the draft.
Right.
Mm.
Martine, what do you think?
I mean, Randy pretty much summed it up pretty well. Like, I think Vision is pretty good, but his usage has kind of been very fairly inconsistent. So, from like a points scoring perspective, he's not necessarily the safest pick,
Hmm.
but like it that could change,
Yeah.
because like they do that a lot. They do like, oh, this character is going to be used here, so let's bump him up a little in the comics. But that if that does happen, that's not going to happen. It may have to happen. Like it may end up happening after all the points scoring is done.
Yeah. See,
So,
Mm,
what I worry about is that, there are certain characters who tend to be featured a lot more in teams,
yeah.
than in the solo context.
yeah,
And I was listening to a podcast. Shout out to the Superior Comics Show, and were interviewing one of the former Avengers writers, and he spoke about the fact that he used the Vision a lot in the Avengers because he was one of the few characters who didn't have a solo book, so he had
Hmm.
he could write more towards the Vision because there wasn't another book that had his primary story being
yeah,
told. And that can be both a good thing and a bad thing. From a points perspective, it's better to have a solo book. From a
yeah,
visibility perspective, it's better to be perceived as a solo character rather than just a team character.
Yeah.
You
yeah,
might get lost in the shuffle. We even saw it in the Avengers movies. The Vision, while having a few cool scenes and few cool moments, ends up being expendable because at the heart of it, he's not the core of the story. He's not the
Right.
main character. And
Right.
you worry that when you draft a character that's not a main character, that character is consistently expendable.
Exactly.
You know.
mm, yeah.
But
Yeah.
speaking of characters that are not consistently expendable,
Mm,
that brings us to the Latinx delegation. The
Mm,
fifth pick of round
Mhm.
two.
I feel like they just kind of copied the multiracial delegation from season one.
I mean,
Why you didn't get
They,
Batman?
uh,
hmm,
I didn't want Batman, and I still won without him. Just saying.
No, but how could we got? But we only got one of your picks.
No, yeah, Cardi B. Cardi B is like pretty much the same thing. Like same thing. Like that's what she was for me. I'm just saying. And then you just stole her.
Debatable.
well, let me read from the DC Wiki first.
Hmm.
Um, Harley Quinn is a former girlfriend and sidekick to the Joker, a criminal psychologist turned flamboyant criminal menace. While her intentions are typically good, her methods often betray her insanity. Quinn has acted both as an ally and an enemy to Batman.
Hmm.
Um, I will let you tell the backstory in your own words.
Yeah, tell us the backstory.
Yeah. So, I decided, kind of keeping in the whole like that Harley has canonically a Jewish father and a Catholic mother.
Hmm.
Doing that in Mexico,
Okay.
there was a very Jewish immigration into Mexico has been going on since about the 1500s.
Okay.
But
Hmm.
obviously, I decided to go with the Nazi Germany of escaping Nazi Germany,
Okay.
which again was still a pretty big influx of Jewish people into Mexico. So her dad is a like born and raised in Mexico, and he meets his future wife, Harley's future mom,
Mhm.
in Mexico because like they grew up together. Will they get married and then when they find out that she's pregnant, in deciding that they want to have a better life for their child and any future children afterwards,
Mhm.
they decide to go to America, and the place that they decide to go to for whatever reason was Gotham.
Was
And
what?
for whatever reason, they decided to go to Gotham. Um,
They must have
yeah,
not known about all Gotham's problems.
yeah. So they
Americans lean on a budget.
they it was hard for them to find work, but they did eventually find it in some seedier kind of places. Uh, Harley's mom started working at a Falcone like casino,
Mhm.
and then Harley's dad started doing some of the less than kind stuff that Falcone did, like because like he needed the money, and Harley was just also take care of her three younger brothers, which is a fairly Latinx thing to do. And it's just
Okay.
a very common thing, like only a few years difference. You're the responsible one, but I'm only 6. I don't care. Like the rest are like 3, 2, and 1. Like we trust you more. But yeah, she was very like obviously very smart. She was very gifted, and she wanted to go to college, have that better life that her parents wanted her to, and because of her background, her financial situation, her overall kind of like intelligence and academics, like she was able to get like money specifically from the Diaz like foundation,
Mhm.
like
So I like how you incorporated the
yeah,
your previous pick, kept
yeah,
things in the Batman world. Sure.
yeah, and
That was okay, fancy.
so then afterwards, like when she's in actual college, she's doing like gymnastics and all that, but
That's just
unfortunately
sexy.
Gotham is Gotham, and
Gotham being Gotham, sure.
it fucks over her family. Yeah, like, her dad ends up getting like involved in a point shaving scandal when
Mhm.
it comes to college basketball.
Mm.
And then he got killed by the Falcone, like the crime family. Harley's mom, along with her 3 younger brothers, were all like deported and like illegally
Mhm.
deported, which does unfortunately happen.
Right.
Like even if you were born in the United States, if you're like you could potentially be deported. I know
Mhm.
2 examples off the top of my head, but yeah. So, but she lucked out. Harley lucked out in that she had someone high up saying like, no, let's try to keep her in here. Someone high up in the Diaz Foundation that gave her the scholarship in the first place, and so she started studying criminal psychology because she
Mhm.
was very interested in the world that took her family away from her, to
Mhm.
kind of like understand it. And then she ended up going to Arkham, meeting the Joker, and same thing, like she ends up kind of like falling in love, having and but he just sees her as a way to get out.
Right.
Like
He
he's kind of
manipulates
playing with
her.
he's
You know.
manipulates her, he's playing with her emotions, and he uses her to get out, tosses her in the vat, and then out of the vat comes Harley Quinn. And she like obviously has now got a very large vendetta against the crime element that took her family away. She's kind of pissed off at the Joker for manipulating her like that, and she does kind of do after that whole like crime thing that they did together. She kind of goes
Mhm.
on a kind of like try to get redemption for herself,
Right. Right.
and with
Now
some
I would imagine.
questionable
Yeah.
methods.
Sure. Now, obviously, a lot of people know, who are fans of the character, tie her to Poison Ivy,
Hmm.
and that kind of on again, off again romance,
Yeah,
combination best friend slash dating
love
type
interest. Yeah,
situation.
yeah,
Exactly, love interest. Like, do you still envision that being a part of her story?
yeah.
Yeah, Martine, do you still envision that being part of her story? Please enlighten us.
Or have you suddenly become homophobic?
Oh, I wasn't trying to set anybody up here.
I am.
I was throwing up
I
a
know you are,
softball.
Kia. No, like yeah, obviously, I definitely could see that still being a part of her story. There's
What
no,
exactly? Like scissoring and doing all that? Like
I'll send you the Tumblr
wizarding?
links. I'll send you the Tumblr links later.
That
Yeah, there's a whole thing.
I see the relationship with Poison Ivy could still be a thing of this new Harley's like history.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, okay.
Kia.
A lot of vines and
Cool. So-
branches. A lot of vines and
So
branches.
I don't have to stick the poison ivy hive on you. Okay, cool.
So we have been joined by, from the Great White North himself, Shaun.
Hey.
We
You
we
missed your
we
brother Arjun, who's in Toronto.
Oh,
we spoke a little bit about. We'll take a couple steps back. We'll give you the opportunity to talk about the heist, as it were, of Superman.
okay, you gotta admit that's the pick of this week. Like, I'm sorry, the fact that I got that character. Oh,
Look at him smiling. Look at that.
so
Look at
happy.
him smiling.
Didn't get Wonder Woman, but I got Superman.
Whoa, penis. Whoa. We cannot talk about that. You're only allowed to talk about Superman. Only.
I mean,
So-
rest of the week.
So let's.
Yeah,
So-
pick of the week, you guys. I got Superman. You guys would never let me have Superman, but you know what? The new kid went first, and I will take it. Thank you,
And
my
then the
fellow
Jewish
Canadian.
team. The Jewish
because
team.
of
Like,
that-
we really just blame the Jewish team for that. Eddie!
So Shaun, why don't you give us some? I mean, you don't have an official backstory out yet.
I
But one-
don't. I just want 3 details. 1, he's French Canadian, so he's got the French accent.
Okay.
Ooh, can you
Two.
show us the French accent?
He's like a French elitist. Like, he doesn't like to fight because Superman actually doesn't
Only
use
eats
powers
cheese?
that much. He actually mostly saves civilians. He's
That
got
is
the
true.
highest saved civilians count and out of everybody. So he doesn't fight. He tries to make us better, but he always sounds like a little bit of a snob while he's doing it
Mhm.
because
Ooh,
of the
I like
French
that.
accent.
Now my question is this.
Are you talking about somebody you know?
My question is, this is a very important question, Shaun. Does both Superman and Clark Kent have the same accent?
Ooh, good question.
Because that would be hard. That would be a hard thing to maintain in Metropolis. The fact that
That they have. No, I guess Clark won't have it. But there's one last thing I want to keep. His Fortress of Solitude that he put down on a certain people's land and the name of Krypton, claiming it for them.
Oh, it's
Because he's
colonizer.
Oh gosh.
The Fortress of Colonizitude. So
I love it.
so is
My team's like, no.
what's the name of the robot that serves him in is it like Gleetex or something like that? Helix.
Alex.
Is
Yeah.
That
yeah.
Kia? Like, are you trying to throw me in there? Yes, I do, sir.
Kellic. Yeah. So is it he has like a servant? Is the robot modeled after a person of color? Are we going full colonizer?
Yeah. Please say it's a black robot.
Now we call him Felix.
I like to think of it more as it's just a robot because other people are not worthy to be in New Krypton.
Oh gosh.
Oh, well. Now remember, in keeping with the current rules, your cousin, you get to claim as in the perfect white person fashion. You get to constantly talk about how you're not
My
racist.
cousin.
You're not racist because your cousin is a person of color.
I don't know where you guys come up with these accusations. They are unfounded.
So that's Superman. But let's go back to Harley Quinn. Shaun, taking off your white delegation hat and putting on your FCL guru hat. What's the Harley Quinn? How do you score the Harley Quinn
Um,
draft pick?
as an unbiased pick of the week.
As an unbiased. We just heard that there's yet another Harley book coming.
Well, in other words, I just, like once again, I rose her thing because she was third round pick last season, and now
Okay,
she's
but
number 2.
They took
Hey!
2 of my team this week. They took Mr. Fantastic and they took the Flash.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
So don't
well,
be
not
acting
on
like you're
purpose.
the
they
only
didn't.
one.
Sean, they didn't take the Flash as much as they had the
They were
Flash
given.
foisted upon them by the poll. But stay tuned later. We'll get to that. I personally thought the Harley Quinn pick was amazing. You
Yeah,
know,
Harley's one of my faves.
Yep.
Harley is one of a lot
Honestly.
of people's faves. I like the idea, just based phenotypically, like Harley could definitely be Latinx.
Yeah.
The
Or white lady.
backstory wasn't a major radical departure.
Mhm.
You know, that kind, not the stereotype, but I mean, sometimes the energy of feistiness and
Spitfire.
Well,
You can
I,
say
I
it.
have to. I still have to ask though: is Harley Quinn from first season or Harley Quinn now? Which one's better?
well
Which one will
you
win in a
well
fight?
you had
Well, see,
Harley.
what had happened was
Like Harley first season has bars, right? Like so,
Yeah, bars and she's a little crazy. And
and we know she can work the stripper pole.
yeah, that's
Right.
true.
So me personally, I might lean, if you get what I'm saying, towards
No, I want to hear it.
towards first season Harley.
Mhm.
But season 2 Harley has
You hear that,
her
Martine?
has
He's
her
back.
benefits as well. Um, and the fact that the Latinx delegation has really gone in on this whole Gotham Newark thing.
Yeah, they definitely won on a backstory.
Mhm.
That's only because I didn't put one in.
You never
'Cause I
did.
didn't think she needed one. Because
Well,
But
I really personally I'm just a fan of the fact that like I mean, of course she's a really popular character, so this is a really great pick. There's no reason to believe that she's gonna somehow be lowered in her profile or whatever.
right.
Mhm.
But I really like the backstory, and I want to just disclose that she was gonna be one of my potential picks if somebody was foolish enough to overlook her. But I think that it was very well done, and I'm just congrats on the pick.
I have a real
I
quick
have a question.
to everyone.
I want a question. Can I
But I want a
ask
question.
Can I ask Martine first?
Well, no, Kia
Yeah, you
Kia
can.
Kia
Go
goes
ahead.
first because she's the co-host.
Oh,
She already-
Oh shit, Shaun. No, actually I was just gonna ask all of you guys in general, do you think that Harley Quinn could be a first round pick?
oh yes, absolutely. Because she's just like she has her own thing going as far as just popularity in movies and all this other stuff. And she has her show, the Harley Quinn show,
I'll,
and she just
And the
kind of
cartoon.
right.
That's the show.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll yeah, I'll ask an even bolder question. I'm gonna go around the room.
Okay.
Around the room.
Well, didn't Shaun have
How many first round picks will Harley Quinn outscore? I'll start with you, Martine.
Well, let's see. I'm trying to remember who everyone was in the first round. She's not gonna outscore Batman. I think that's a given.
He just wanted to
Um,
say Batman.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, just to remind everyone, we got him. Let's see. She's definitely gonna outscore Echo.
For sure.
She's
no.
let's see. Who else was in the first round?
All right, let me run. Actually, I'll do it this way
Yeah, okay.
for you. Like I'll name them and you say if she's gonna outscore them,
Okay.
and then we'll keep count. Captain America.
It's possible. It's
Okay,
possible.
so is that a yes or no?
No.
Okay.
Maybe he'll just really suck.
Wolverine.
No.
Okay. Black
I don't
Panther.
remember.
Nope.
Yeah.
All right, so that's one Black Panther. Thor.
Yep.
Probably.
Maybe, yeah.
She
'Cause
did in
I
the
don't.
first season, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
So you're saying yes too. Okay.
yeah, sure.
Batman, no. Echo, you
Yeah,
said yes.
yeah,
He said,
Cyborg,
hell yes.
you said Cyborg.
Yeah, probably.
yeah.
Yeah. The Hulk,
Probably, yeah.
5. And that, and then Doctor Strange.
Probably him too.
Maybe, yeah.
Oh,
Probably.
So
that's
you're
hard.
saying 6. You're saying she's going to outscore 6. Shaun, how many characters is she going to outscore, do you think?
She's gonna outscore. Okay, she's not gonna outscore Batman. I don't think she's gonna outscore. Who after Captain America? Wolverine. She's not gonna outscore Wolverine. Wolverine's a god. And I would say Doctor Strange and Harley Quinn are where the line is drawn,
Mm-hmm.
but Harley Quinn will probably take it.
So you're
Just
saying
because
you're
she's got
saying
that digital
7.
pageant.
So you're saying 7.
No, I'm saying only 2 people are gonna beat her.
Yeah, that's
For sure, Batman.
Yeah, so you're saying 7 because there's 9.
Oh yeah, because there's 9. Sorry, I was
Yeah,
thinking of
yeah.
last season.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
you're
I
saying
missed that.
7. Kia, what about you?
I'm going to agree with Shaun on that one.
7.
Yeah.
What about you, Randy?
Yeah, I mean, she's incredibly prevalent. I wouldn't be surprised.
So there we
You-
go. I
the-
mean, if you're saying that she's going to outscore the majority of the first round, then she should have gone in the first round.
Exactly. Oh, guys. Like, honestly, like, pretty much my first top 5 should have gone in the first round. Honestly.
It's true.
I mean,
Yeah.
if I was playing,
Uh-huh.
and
Well,
First up, has the poll been announced? Who's the poll this week? Was
we,
it
no,
yet.
it's still we're still going through the picks.
okay? Then let me ask Martine this question now when it's open to everybody. Why did you pick her? Because she is not the best of the Bat family.
Why did I pick her? I think at that time is when it was announced. Like, I already knew she was getting her own solo series, and I was also I think that same day it was announced that she was going to get a story in the anthology stuff. So that's 2 monthly appearances at least, and then taking into consideration her animated show, that's her own specific show that
Yep.
we could get points from that as well. So that's 3 potential things that we can get points from.
Not
So
to mention the
that-
Suicide Squad
oh my
movie.
god.
I
Um,
think that doesn't come out until like August, I think.
oh, okay, so that may fall out of our
Yeah.
our scoring.
But
period.
Season 3.
Oh,
But
if
then-
I had gotten, I would have got so many points
And
for
then
the show.
fortunately
Oh.
and then like a little after that is when that Batman variant cover showed up with her on it, and then the interview with Tinian where like she's gonna play a major part in the Batman stories going on. So like that's 4 things.
You know, like Harley Quinn is in 2021. She's probably the best Bat family member.
All right.
He kind of
That
is
isn't bad.
pushing her as a Bat family member. Like she apparently
Yeah.
she thinks like she's Batman's new Robin, but like
I mean,
Yeah,
one
but
could
he's like,
one could make the argument that
Mhm.
in terms of popularity and
Yeah.
exposure, she is DC's number 2 female character. One could
Yeah.
make that
Yeah.
argument.
Sad, but it's true.
Speaking of high-profile female characters, we move on to the Polynesian delegation and their second season in a row of putting a stake or a dagger into the back of Black people. Shaun, would you like to comment about the Polynesian delegation drafting Storm for the second season in a row?
she's
I love it.
black?
I love it.
Of course you love it.
Randy,
Guys, there could be so much worse.
Randy,
He's
how do
like,
you
I coulda
feel?
got her.
I feel incredibly bitter, but at the same time, I also have to give them props because at least I see that they recognize her value and worth as a character. Literally, they beat me out by like one, by basically had they just picked over her or someone else, I would have chosen her. So they just beat me out by a hair. But
Well,
if
actually, they
lose
beat
it
you
to
out by a
superpower for the new,
whole.
so
They actually beat you out by a whole like draft round because you could have shown up on the first draft round and picked her, but nobody did.
she's never gonna let me forget that.
Yeah, no, not at all.
I mean, I believe she was a second round pick for the Polynesian delegation in the first season as well.
Yes.
She
Yeah.
came in
And
through
we
the
did
poll
our
that time.
mistake last time.
She came in through the poll last time. This time he went right for it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Cutthroat.
go ahead and read. I'm gonna go ahead and read the.
Oh, did he give us a backstory?
Yeah.
Or did he
He
just copy and paste?
no, he gave a brand new backstory, but I also want to read the. Sorry. Here we go. From the wiki. Aurora Monroe, better known as Storm, is a member and sometimes leader of the X-Men, a group of superpowered mutants brought together by Professor Charles Xavier to promote coexistence between humans and mutants and fight crime around the world. Gifted with the ability to manipulate the weather and its aspects, Storm is among the most powerful of the X-Men. The elemental fury she is able to bring about is only tempered by an incredible empathy and kindness. Now,
Ooh.
Tomati, shout out to Tomati out there in the future.
Or should we say Tamate?
You could try. You could try. You could try. He was nice enough to grace us with a backstory and I'm apologies in advance for the butchering of the words that I'm about to read. Teoria. No, sorry. Let me
Ooh.
try this again.
Well, that was rough.
Teoria. Hiko Teora.
Ooh, yeah,
Haruru
that was close. That was real close.
Tewatiri. The flash of
Exactly.
lightning, the rumbling of thunder. The Urukehu are descendants of an ancestor, Urukehu. Traditions say she was the first to be given the power to control the weather. This power was given to her by the god Tawirmaitia. It's told that a descendant would come who would channel and control the full powers of Tawirmaitia himself. Over the many millennia, the Urukehu remain hidden, choosing to stay away from conflict, even as colonialization ravaged people around them. Teoria, from birth, demonstrated abilities far surpassing others of the tribe. Her moods dictated the weather. She honed her skills to enable her to channel lightning, winds, and rain. Her control was such that she could fly with the winds. With encouragement, she traveled the world. Teoria used her powers where she could break droughts and avert climate disasters. She even encountered and nourished a sentient living island. She returned home with a newfound purpose to use her powers to protect people. This culminated in her battling alongside the god Thor against invading giants. During the battle, she wielded Mjolnir. She's connected with the hammer because, like her, it channeled and controlled the power of a god. Thor said in Asgard she would be a goddess. Teoria said her place was here in the world. If needed, she would support Thor and others who served to protect. Footage of the battle surfaced around various platforms and social media. It was here that Teoria would be given a new name, Storm, a name she would adopt for future adventures.
Mainly because it doesn't sound like a combination of Tanya and diarrhea.
Oh, oh no!
She's
Oh
like, yeah, I'll pick
no!
Storm any day.
Oh! Why would you do that to me? Why? Like, Tomati, you should have sent in another voice note so we could have known how it was
Oh,
pronounced.
you know what? It would be better. I hope you just like. I'm gonna ask Tommy to just put a random weird names in all his stories just to hear you like butcher them completely.
I apologize to all the members of the Polynesian delegation for my butchering of pronunciation.
Yeah.
In the future, send me a parenthetical with the pronunciation so that I won't
like we did.
embarrass myself.
Yeah,
Because
'cause we always,
I
like,
most
Don't
whenever
do
it's like-
it. It's more fun this way.
But as a black person, my heart is broken. My
Uh-huh.
heart is broken.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Storm, yet again. Like the song, she was taken
And
by us.
literally buy a pick because isn't Randy next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I literally I was like, okay, look, so they wanted to go ahead and hurry up and get Storm, and I was like, I think maybe this next underdog pick might be, a good go, and I wish that I had got that one more round, but they beat me to it, so.
Yeah.
Now I realize we talked a lot about the Harley pick, but we did not actually say what the Harley pick's approval rating was. So I'm gonna go ahead and read off the Harley Quinn approval rating, and then I'm gonna read off the Storm approval rating. The Harley Quinn approval rating was 84.2. That's a 68.4% strongly approve, 15.8% somewhat approve, 5.3% somewhat disapprove, and 10.5% strongly disapprove.
I'm neutral.
The Storm approval
Didn't sound
rating,
like it.
the Storm approval rating, however, is 66.7. Basically a third. I mean, sorry, 2/3. With 52.4 strongly approve, 14.3 somewhat approve, 19% somewhat disapprove, and 14.3% strongly disapprove.
I bet I
Damn.
Full
know those
disclosure,
people who
full
disapprove.
disclosure, I was in the strongly disapprove. Yeah, that feels right. That feels right.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna ask anyone to say what they chose, but it hurts. It hurts black
I
people.
approve.
It hurts to lose to I get it. I like the theme. There was Thor in the first round and Storm in the
Yeah.
second round. I'm starting to struggle and try to figure out which weather based character might be their pick in the third round.
Weather
You
wizard.
know exactly. Um,
Namor, bring Namor back.
right? Or what's his name? Maybe what's the Mera from from Aquaman.
Aquaman. Yeah.
Like I feel like I personally wouldn't pick people that could cause tidal waves and crazy storms, but if that's the route that they want to go, like I'm into it. I mean, the abilities are very godlike. The ability to control the elements, elemental. It's a good thing. And Namor, as a first round pick, Namor might not be the way to go, but in the third round, who knows? Shaun, what were your thoughts? Well, no, I already asked you. Martine, what were your thoughts about the Storm pick?
Uh, I mean, I always think it's a good pick when we have to cross a name off our list because,
Yeah, I feel you.
yeah. So, like after Harley, we were like, oh, because we were debating whether we should get Harley or Storm. We ultimately settled on Harley, but we kind of wanted to maybe see if we can get Storm maybe like the next round or something. That's not gonna happen anymore. And it was like the story that I had pitched to the other Latinx delegation was I liked, so I had to
Had to cross it off. I gotcha.
And but yeah, I mean, she did well for them last season. They obviously wanted her again this season.
To be fair,
Yeah,
Storm was one of the handful of characters who scored points for them last season.
that's why. Comparatively, she was one of the best, if not the best.
Right.
So yeah, it makes total sense for them to try and get her again this time around.
Yeah, I feel you.
So it's not surprising, but it sucks a little.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks a lot.
Sucks a lot.
Well, it sucks a lot for you. I know that.
Shaun, from an FCL perspective, would you like to give us the rundown of Storm?
I think Storm's going to outscore some of the people in the first round, and by some of the people, I mean quite a lot of them.
Wow,
Ooh.
that is big. She
Storm-
didn't put up those kind of points in season 1 though.
I mean, when season 1 ended, she started putting up those points. You remember that 18-point single
That's
issue
true.
she got?
That's
And
true.
they've been teasing that 2021 is going to be even bigger for Storm.
Maybe she'll finally get a solo book.
Please.
Ooh.
Let's not get
Bro.
crazy.
So, Randy, it's only right. Actually, Kia, what are your
Yeah.
thoughts?
I approve of the pick just because, at least somebody's going to score on their team.
But once again, relying on a black woman to do all their scoring.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, welcome. Is he sure he's not American?
All right, Randy. Speaking for the black delegation, speaking for the entire black delegation, I need you to channel what we're feeling.
we are hurt. We are in pain. We are in mourning. It's a very dark day, even as it's the eve of the
Us
winter
getting
solstice.
all of our superpowers.
When we're going to manifest our own mutant latent abilities. If only this time around we had our queen to lead us. But
Well,
alas, if there's anybody who could do the queen justice, I cannot imagine a better delegation to do it.
that is fair. Well, just so you know, guys, when my powers manifest, I will use the power to turn back time so that you guys can make a better pick in the first round.
Or won it all.
um, However, the time has come to discuss what might have been the most outside of the box pick in the history of the racial draft. Because as much as we mock the crow, and we do mock the crow, we are a crow mocking podcast.
I was just looking at his picture on Instagram.
The crow is still a character that could potentially, exist in a comic book realm. But this pick,
It's on a whole nother level.
Shaun. I mean, Shaun, this character wasn't even on your radar as a potential FCL scorer.
Boo.
The black delegation
and picking your crappy picks.
The black delegation, you selected Krakoa, the living island. I'll let you tell it, Randy.
Oh yes. Let's see. A few short millennia after the world. Well, do you want to read the actual thing?
No. We're not up to the backstory yet. I just want you to just let the people know about what the black delegation's whole thought process when it came.
Okay, well, it was actually pretty interesting. It kind of like occurred to us as a fluke. I for anybody who knows me, I change my name on Twitter all the time, and I have like I try to get them that are like the intersection between like blackness and nerdness, and so one of the days I just changed my name to Black Hoa, the living island, and that was before we hadn't even decided who we wanted to draft, and so my teammates were like, well, what about Krakoa? And I was like, wait, what? Can you even do that? Like, so I went and tried to check and see if if that was against the rules, and they were like, there's not even any information on Krakoa, so maybe it might catch them off guard, but there's nothing that really says that it would be against the rules. So we just were like, and then we started like our minds started flooding with the possibilities of what all could possibly count as like power feats for Krakoa, and so it just is, it was a really like everybody kind of just quickly got on board with that pick, and I'm very proud that nobody got it before we did.
Well, let me read from the Wikia. Krakoa, the island that walks like a man, is a sentient living island located in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. It was once believed that it was spawned from nuclear testing in the area. Somehow, the repeated bombardments of radiation caused the island to mutate into a living ecosystem. Its true origin was revealed to have been part of an older sentient landmass known as Okara. being split the land apart using the Twilight Sword, splitting into two, forming Krakoa and Araco. Although hostile at first, the land eventually became a safe haven and later home nation for the mutant people of Earth.
Mhm.
Um, my understanding is that Krakoa is a mutant, right?
Yes.
Well, I don't know. I'm looking at Marvel.com right now, and I just saw this instance. Though not a true mutant, Krakoa is
Ooh.
somehow registered on Professor Charles Xavier Newton's detecting cerebral computer, and so yeah. Just saying.
So Shaun,
Maybe
we need your FCL expertise. Where do you envision the points coming from with regard to Krakoa?
everywhere. All of the coins. Ha ha ha.
Mm, I mean, Randy, you're gonna hate me.
Marvel.com.
As a backdrop for people to walk on, he will not score points, but he will for all the Quiet Council meetings. If Krakoa comes to defense of the island, which he did in X-Men Empire,
Mhm.
they would score points there. But like, if it's just like we see a panel of Krakoa, like the Bone Spire in X Factor,
Mhm.
I don't think that should get points.
Well,
Why
so
not? It's an appearance.
the question
It's a
is
backdrop.
things. So the
He's
question,
both an island and a mutant. It's like,
yeah. So the
So
question,
not a true mutant, according to Marvel.
so the
and
argument that I would
actually,
make is
Brian used that in his argument, but we're gonna count Krakoa.
so the argument that I would make is that when things are manifested by the island, that's a reflection of Krakoa's sentience. Krakoa being sentient would be the expression of the Krakoa character, whereas just being on Krakoa isn't a manifestation of
Even if it
Krakoa's
was like
sentience.
a slight ripple, right? Like if Krakoa reacts in any way, you would get points. Like
So my
we
question
would have to
is,
start paying attention to that because I don't think we've ever really paid much attention
is
to that.
the portal Krakoa?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
I would fight so hard for that. I'm on your back for that
Yes.
one. I'm
Yes.
there for that.
So I will say this much. Okay. So
Teleporter of the year.
we're kind of thinking as far as Western like people, Western civilization, and in Eastern traditions, there and really even some indigenous people here are very animistic in their culture, and so this is like even though you're walking on this land, it's not inanimate. It's not like just like you're walking on a dead piece of whatever. It's an actual living being. So I would like basically anytime they show up, that would seem to me like an appearance. Even if it's not like you see specifically like the Krakoa face or something like that, you don't really have to see it. It's still there. Like,
I don't know. I don't feel. I feel comfortable saying that if Krakoa makes its presence felt, that's more of an appearance than if their existence on Krakoa. And more often than not, Krakoa does make its presence felt. So, I mean, I think it could be very much a moot point. But, we'll have to, there'll probably be a lot of confabs with the Fantasy Comics League in terms of
Yes.
figuring out.
And like where the Fantasy Comic League, like we evolve as new debates come up, rules change, they adapt. So like Krakoa is going to be a non-stop source of stress for me this year, Randy.
All right, well.
Thank you.
Now the question that I want to know,
in many
Shaun.
of the fights.
I mean, not Shaun. Sorry. The question that I want to know, Randy, is now that Krakoa has a race, like how is this race being expressed?
well, you can't really express it in any meaningful way other than like when you see his face.
I
Like
mean,
you
yeah,
see
because I
his
mean,
face
right
and
now he
everything.
doesn't have a nose. Like,
Right,
like he's
exactly.
black though.
Right.
So at the very least, he has to have a like Negro nose. I mean, come on.
This iteration of Krakoa, aka Blackoa, the island that pimp walks like a man.
Right.
He has a face this time.
Yes.
So he never knows. And then we can see his lips are a little bit more full. He, maybe his garbled island speak is a little bit has a little bit of slang thrown in there somewhere.
Maybe the tree grows out like some dreads, you know?
Right,
Like,
exactly.
yeah, I mean, we got to
That's
get Eli on board with this. We need to talk about getting Eli to draw up like Black Hoa. Um, Also, just as you know, if you're listening to this, black people have already manifested their abilities. Um, you are welcome on Black Krakoa as the new homeland for us if
yeah.
we choose to go there. Would you like to talk a little bit about that, Randy?
Um, they are all welcome on the island. Just make sure you immediately make your way to your nearest portal. Probably say your last goodbyes to all your white friends, and join us. I don't know what else to say.
Now, presumably, the time zone is color people time zone. Um,
This is
the
true.
as far as the location of the island, and the lines of longitude, I understand that as much. But yeah, I mean, talk about the parties, the cookouts, everything. You know, I mean, we've
Oh,
got
absolutely. I mean, we have white people on the island, but don't worry, we don't let them anywhere near the macaroni and cheese. We don't let them
Or the
anywhere
potato
near
salad.
the
right,
potato
exactly.
salad.
Yeah,
There will
So
be no raisins. We'll make sure that it's the macaroni is
Sounds like that's my favorite
have,
chip.
gonna have some Krakoa generated oxtails and some collard greens, and we're gonna make it a good time.
yeah, and of course the New Yorkers that live on Krakoa have special Timberlands with special trees.
Timberland.
Yeah, like for sure, for sure. Now, but now's as good a time as any to hit us off with the backstory.
Yes. Okay. Um, a few short millennia after the world's one land became many, a man dwelled in a place that would eventually be called Africa. To his people, he was only Kwame, yet his status was far more. They knew some born with power were dangerous and frightening, but Kwame connected with Earth, coaxed forth its bounty. He was only ever a divine gift for a time. No one knew what happened, what the gods desired that made Kwame change. All they knew, the earth quaked in anger. If there was any saving to be done, Kwame would do it, not by force of will or entreating the gods. After much giving, it seemed the gods now demanded a return. On a favorable day, Kwame looked back to his people, then over the edge of the coastal cliff where he stood. Without fear, he leaned forth and fell, plunging into the harsh ocean depths. Any other could expect death at any moment. Yet, what Kwame thought was his end was just a new start. Rather than bearing him down to death, the waters carried him aloft for weeks, nourished him with salt and sediment. No need to eat, sleep, or even breathe. By the time he landed on an island where people would eventually call the Pacific Ocean, his whole being changed. His body was heavy with earth that accumulated from the ocean, but his mind was light. So much nature took its place in his mind, his past was but a spark of memory, a waking dream in a mind that now so desperately craves slumber. Yet when he woke, it may as well have been for the first time. He peered out, surrounded by unfamiliar faces with unfamiliar skin. His former self would have panicked that they seemed so small before him or that he could not move. But this new self wondered. This word they chanted, Krakatau, Krakatau. Were they speaking to him? It had such a nice ring to it, that word. Perhaps he could try it himself. The earthen mountainside, now comprising his face, creaked, cracked, split open, and with a gravelly growl he attempted it. Krakoa.
All
Man,
right.
that was awesome.
There you have it. So again, came out of nowhere. Never saw it coming. Um,
Is there a
I
back door to Coca-Cola?
there are many backdoors to Krakoa. Um, I'll explain. I'll show you the Tumblr links for that as well. Um, but I didn't mention the fan reaction, the approval rating, as it were, 81.8% strongly approved, 0% somewhat approved. So all the approval was right there in the strong approval. 13.6% somewhat disapprove, and 4.5% strongly disapprove,
and
which I
all
get.
those guys.
No, I mean, listen, I mean, black people becoming the place that other people can walk on. I understand. You know, but
I just want to say, like, I'm kind of proud of myself for like the I guess at least if nobody else noticed. First of all, I got my little nod to Kwame from the Planeteers in there, the Earth
was that a
Elemental.
thing?
I got my little nod in there to him. But then also,
Wait,
I
what
had
was
to do a.
Kwame's? What was Kwame's? Was he Heart? No, he wasn't Heart.
He was Earth.
It was Earth.
Oh,
He was
perfect.
Earth.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
and then
Brazilian was hard.
and then I was happy about the fact that I actually was I managed to do a little bit of research as far as where the island of Krakoa is supposed to be. It's
Mhm.
like it's supposed. They said it was like in the South Pacific, which is around the same area as the actual the real life island of Krakatoa, which is where I
Interesting.
got
Okay.
that word from that they were chanting. And so I was like, maybe he himself was African, but he ended over in the South Pacific somewhere.
Got it. All right. Now, obviously, I don't want you to tip your hand in terms of future draft picks, but do
Mm.
you foresee Krakoa, Black Koa, as it were, interacting with some of the other
Wakanda.
characters that are part of the Black Delegation?
Well, I mean, he's an Earth elemental, so I feel like of course, obviously, like the more elemental characters that we may potentially look at down the line, um, they might be, you know, more inclined to meet up with him. But I mean, generally, if we look at mutants or any sea dwelling folks, or just I don't know, it's very interesting possibilities to explore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know in current comics, he's got this like, close relationship with Doug Ramsey,
Yeah.
and depending on which direction Doug Ramsey goes, we could revisit that interaction and that
Yeah.
relationship, figure out what's happening there.
I was gonna joke that my next two characters I was gonna need to draft was Poison Ivy and Professor X, but I can remove Xavier and get some Doug in there.
It's like you're mine now. All right, so let's move on. I mean, this is a delegation that's near and dear to your heart, Kia. The multiracial delegation.
Yeah,
They had their choice in the
yeah, they
second
had the
round,
poll,
decided
and
by.
then who won? Who won the poll?
Well, give me a second. I'm gonna pull up
Yeah,
the
you
poll.
just have to say who won the poll.
No,
That's all.
I'm gonna pull up the poll results. That's important.
No, you don't have to. You can just say the poll. Like the poll results are, and you can just say who won.
Give me a second. Um, so with
What?
44.6% of the poll results,
Hmm.
the multiracial delegation ended up with Barry Allen, aka the Flash, the fastest man alive. We did not get a backstory for him, but the Flash is an awesome character. Um,
Hmm.
what was everyone's thoughts about the Flash, Martine?
Um, I'm glad they got him.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
Uh,
When you say you're glad, you act like you played no role in the outcome of the poll. There were 56 votes cast.
uh-huh.
Significantly less than last week
Yeah.
when some dirty polling went down. But I kind of feel like your fingerprints are all over this dirty poll. So but that's good. I mean, you're happy that the Flash won out. You feel that of the four poll choices, you were most happy, I assume, of that the Flash ended up in the multiracial
Yes.
delegation.
Yeah,
Okay.
but somehow the Flash will still end up on that team, so it doesn't matter. I mean,
So
not the Flash, the other one.
Yeah.
But
so
I
Yeah,
will
so
Wally.
say,
Sean, give us a FCL rundown of the Flash in terms of tiering.
Okay. I mean, he is number 4 at DC. He's
So
not
he's
the
right
not the
below the
god.
Trinity.
He's not a god, but he could rival Peter Parker.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
So they
Um,
have a powerhouse on their team.
Gotcha. I obviously we don't know what the precise racial breakdown of the Flash. I believe that Shep mentioned that he wanted him to be white and Native American. I don't know why he
Yeah,
wanted to
I think.
deprive the Flash of melanin and athleticism. But maybe we'll before that's official. Maybe we'll talk to him about that, especially Randy as part of the Black Delegation. How could the fastest man alive not be somehow black?
Wally West
Right.
hasn't been drafted
Thought
yet.
too.
What'd you say?
Wally West hasn't been drafted yet.
Oh yes, that is fair.
I haven't forgotten about
He's
him.
still out there. He's still out there. But
I'm happy he's no longer on the Justice League, given this draft pick.
but I assume that there's something. I assume that there's something brewing with the Flash in the DC future.
There's a solo
Yeah.
book, and then you obviously have the show itself.
Oh
But
yeah, let's not forget the CW
The future
show.
state. The future state stuff as well. I
Is
think
he
it,
is
well,
is
that's
Barry Allen?
enacted.
Is Barry Allen
I
involved
think
in Future State?
I think
Uh,
is it future state or is it Infinite Frontier that it's gonna be him like that they kind of tease that it's gonna be like
him and
will they
Wally.
won't they with
Yeah, that's
Barry and
Infinite
Wally.
Frontier.
That's Infinite Front. So that's the stuff that's actually going to count. That's
Yeah.
starting in March.
And
Yeah.
so I'll go ahead and quickly run through the wiki page. Barry Allen is the Flash, the fastest man alive. Using his super speed powers, he taps into the Speed Force and becomes a costume crime fighter. He's a founding member of the Justice League. There's obviously a lot more to the Flash, and I'll go ahead and read and check out the approval rating for that pick, which was, wait for it, 54. Sorry. The overall approval rating was 81.8%, which was 54.5 strongly approve, 27.3 somewhat approve, 18.2 somewhat disapprove, and 0 strongly disapprove. So, people primarily are on the proven side of it. Hopefully, we get a cool backstory. But like Shaun said, he's a powerhouse. Maybe he's not the most preferred choice of the poll choices,
Yeah.
but I still think he's going to put up good second round numbers. He may not outscore a lot of the first round people, but I think when it's all said and done, I think he'll outscore a lot of second round people.
He's gonna kick Cap's ass.
You think you can outscore Captain America?
Captain America's not in this league.
Wow, that's how you stunt on somebody.
Stunting on them hoes, stunting on them hoes.
Any other thoughts about the Flash?
Let's just speed on.
Nice. And that brings us to the final pick of round 2, which, full disclosure, I actually thought this character was going to be the first pick of round 2. Drafted by the I thought this character was going to be drafted by the South Asian delegation, but he ended up being drafted by the regular Asian delegation, and that would be Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic, aka the Stretchy Man from the Fantastic Four, aka sometimes thought of as the smartest man in the universe, or at least on Earth. But there he is, Reed Richards. He of the Council of Reeds has been drafted by the Asian delegation. What were your thoughts about that, Randy?
It works.
You're just gonna say it works?
Like usually, like we kind of have a stereotype of well, yeah. I mean, because we have kind of a stereotype of like Indian men being like, oh, they're
Oh, we.
doctors and all this other
No,
stuff.
Randy,
So,
Randy,
I
Randy,
mean,
Randy kicked out.
it's a credit to intellect. If not,
Yeah, Randy, we're losing you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Oh. Yeah, I just because of kind of the sort of stereotype that we have of Indian men being like doctors and
Oh
like
wait, but
really kind of
Randy, I have to
intelligent
jump in and
people.
stop you though. I have to jump in and stop you. This is not the South Asian delegation. This is the regular Asian delegation. So,
Oh,
again,
well, yeah, them too.
right? No, I understand. I just wanted to
Yeah.
I just
Yeah,
wanted to
they're the
clarify.
same, Randy. Is
Like,
that what you're saying? They're the same. They
I
just looking like that.
I agree with what you were saying, which is why I thought that the South Asian
Well,
delegation
yeah,
was going to draft him. But I think that,
right. I kind of dipped out in my mind. I was still thinking of like because you mentioned South Asian. I was like, oh yeah, South Asian. But yes, of course, there's still like the kind of stereotype that we have of Asian people being
very good at
in
math
the
and science,
academic
yes.
pursuits and stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
think it's a really good.
You man.
Yeah. And we don't know yet what the other like racial background of the Fantastic Four will be. But I mean, we haven't gotten a fan casting because notoriously Ron won't come on the show. But hopefully we'll have an idea of the exact racial background that Reed Richards will be. But I mean, as far like you said, there are stereotypes that are associated with Asian people being good at science. I think we can buy it. I think he's not necessarily one of the more fight inclined characters, but he
Yeah.
does, he can handle himself. I I think that there's a lot of different places they could go with regards to the Reed Richards character. And of course, in season 1, Reed Richards was a white man. And a lot of the negativity that people have towards Reed Richards is that kind of, like mansplainy, I think I know better, white man stylings. Maybe this version of Reed Richards is a little bit less of that. But I'll leave it up to Ron to sort of flesh it out. Kia, what are your thoughts about Asian American Reed Richards?
I'm all right with it.
Martine?
Yeah, I like the pick as well. I think it really works. I'm cool with it. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that might be interesting is that there's often a lot of speculation or projection or fan casting of Namor as also Asian American. So it would be interesting to have an Asian American Namor as well as an Asian American Reed Richards while they compete for who knows what racial background that Sue Storm will end up being. Let's keep that. Hey, so let's keep that opportunity open. Shaun, could you give us
Dr. Gadget just came on.
can you give us an FCL breakdown of Reed Richards if you don't mind?
Yeah, I mean, hold on. I totally forgot to open the document. I was going to do it, and I didn't. Why don't we talk about Carlos for a bit?
All right. Well, we were joined by another member of the Latinx delegation,
Dr.
Carlos.
Gadget.
say what's up to the people. No, it's Inspector Gadget.
Right.
Now, who is Latinx Inspector Gadget? Like, how does that go? Is it Vamonos Gadget?
What's up, guys? I'm actually out Christmas shopping. I'm calling in from my car
Nice. That's
because I
dedication.
couldn't not call in on the episode where Krakoa got drafted.
Yeah, and on the
Because-
eve of all black people getting superpowers, like
Yeah. I'm telling you, I know there's some black in me. I know I got a black ancestor somewhere. If my mutant power is I'm good at math, that's enough for me.
which is perfect because we were just talking about Reed
Well,
Richards.
this-
Like, what were your thoughts about the Reed Richards draft pick, Carlos?
Oh man, we were hoping Reed was gonna fall another round because Reed is a big player. Everything in the Marvel universe kind of goes at some point through Reed. Every major event, they got to ask, the smartest guy. So we were kind of hoping, but
Yeah, I mean,
people are drafting better this year.
Like,
I
listen,
think, overall.
you can't be mad at Harley though. Harley was one of the picks of the round.
I'm telling you, the night that Krakoa got drafted, I fell asleep for like 2 hours. I woke up, checked my Twitter, and it was like, "Hey, Krakoa's gone." And I was like, "Damn!" But I can't be mad that we took Harley over Krakoa.
Right.
I think personally, Krakoa is, the pick of the draft. People are going to be talking about Krakoa getting drafted in this draft in the second round for good or bad. And I personally think in 2021, Krakoa is going to be have at least 1 or 2 weeks where it's just going to be like that was the only player they needed to play to win the week.
Wow.
So
that's big.
I just think like it's the situation with the mutants. It's untenable, and it's going to come to a head in 2021.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha. Other than Krakoa and of course you guys' pick, who are some of your other favorite picks of the round?
Storm, obviously. That was another one we were hoping. It's like maybe as soon as we didn't take Storm, I was like, Storm's going to the Polynesian team, so let's not even pretend that it's going to be there. Let's see. Let's read. Superman somehow still ending up on the white delegation. Come on.
But he's Canadian. He's Canadian Superman now.
Yeah,
It's like
French
it's like you
Canadian.
put up-
There's a difference.
it's like I mean, like NBA terms. It's like you had, Rudy Gobert, Kawhi Leonard, Chris Paul out there, best defense in the world, and the ball just happens to get tipped in. Like, and there's nothing you could have done about it. Man.
I feel you. All right, Shaun. We vamped enough.
Right.
What's the Reed Richards FCL
So
scouting
Reed Richards
report?
is number 7 at Marvel currently. He has 197 points. He puts up 4.58 points appearance, which is very good for a character that appears as much as he does.
Okay. So do you foresee him putting up first round numbers, or do you think second round is a good place for him?
Second round is a good place for him.
All right. Well, the Asian delegation, they who did they draft in the first round? I should have it right here. They drafted Captain America, so they've got Captain America and Reed Richards.
They got 5 and 7 at Marvel.
Okay. And yeah, that's the first round. I was surprised with some of the picks, but I think that overall, the second round is stronger than season 1 second round, and there's still a lot of talent on the board for round 3. But before we jump into previewing round 3, let's hit up the news a little bit. It wasn't we didn't have as big of a news week as last week, of course, because there was no Marvel investor call. But we got a little bit of stuff. We had the rest in peace to Hellstrom. You don't have to worry about drafting any of the Hellstrom characters because Hellstrom season 2 will not be happening.
Same.
So I haven't yet watched it. I've heard mixed things about it. One day I'll watch it. Did anyone here watch the Hellstrom show?
Nope.
Nope.
I
Thank you.
actually was going to.
Hmm.
I was going to, and it's like it looked like it was good, but then I got caught up with like other things. I don't know why. I just never got around to watching it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, you could still watch it. I mean, one day I will, but at least I don't have to worry
Oh,
about it.
I did. Sorry, I had to look at it. I'm sorry, I binged things.
Oh, you
I don't
watched it?
remember. Yeah, I watched the whole thing.
Oh,
That was the brother and the sister, and then
Yeah.
yeah.
What did you
Yeah,
think
I
of it?
actually watched it. Holy
What'd
shit.
you think
I
of
loved
it?
it.
I liked it. I thought that the special effects could have been better,
Hmm.
but overall, I saw what they were trying to do with the story. I mean, like, I took 12 hours or whatever, how many, whatever to watch it. Like, it was decent. The special effects could have been better. I definitely thought that if they had a second season, maybe it would have like been better, but it wasn't horrible. Like,
All right. So would you have been fine if they tried to bring it back for second two? I mean, second.
I would have been interested to see where they went with it and if if like the effects got better.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So that that's one of our stories from the past week. Another story from the past week involves the Black Adam movie, where
Yeah.
they announced the casting of Quintessa Swindell, who will be playing another race bent character, Cyclone. Now, I don't
Yeah.
know a lot about Cyclone. Martine, you are one of our DC correspondents. Do you know a little bit about Cyclone?
Hell the fuck no. I don't know. I don't really know shit about Cyclone. I'm sorry to disappoint people, but I can't be of help right now.
Well,
He didn't even try to
I
use
have
Google
a
either.
No, because I'm gonna be honest here. I don't know.
Randy, what about you?
yeah, I have a couple of thoughts about the casting of Quintessa Swindell, and I kind of basically she would be on the Cyclone would be on my roster of like way underused, lesser known characters who I bemoan and wail that I wish would see like that we would see more often in comics.
Hmm.
Um, she has wind manipulating powers, which again are very underrated. And also in casting Quintessa Swindell, I have to give them props because that is the most be gay, do crimes name I have ever heard in all of history. It sounds like a superhero already. And I know they're going to do an amazing job in the role. I'm very excited to see what they do.
All right. We have been joined by an even more very special guest, Elizabeth from the Black Delegation. Would you like to say what's up to the people?
Hey, what's up, everybody? How's
Welcome.
everybody?
Hey,
Hey, Kia.
Uh,
hey.
I feel like only Kia gave me a warm welcome. Let's try this again.
Yeah, I know.
everybody
How
give.
sexist are you guys? Come on.
I'm eating. I'm sorry.
All right.
Oh, see?
Also, let me grab a chip. That was my excuse too.
Everybody's eating. There's
Oh.
sadness. Well, I am glad that you were able to join us. I don't know, like we just ran through the recap of the second round. I'll go ahead and run through the picks for you just to get you on everybody's page. The same page as everybody.
Cool.
So in round two, the first pick was Supergirl for the South Asian delegation. The second pick was Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, by the Jewish delegation. The third pick was Superman by the white delegation. The fourth
Man.
pick, the fourth pick was Vision by the Native American delegation. The fifth pick was Harley Quinn by the Latinx delegation. The
I saw
sixth
that.
pick, the sixth pick was Storm by the Polynesian delegation. Moment of silence for Storm. The seventh pick was Krakoa by the black delegation. The next pick was The Flash by the multiracial delegation. And then the final pick of the round was Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic by the Asian Delegation. Of those picks, which would you say were your favorites?
I have to say, number one, I don't know who that is that the black delegation picked. I don't know who that is.
That's fair. I mean,
Nobody
I'm
else
very
did until after
disappointed.
they
I was like,
Googled.
who is this person? Everybody else got good people. I don't know who that is. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
So Randy, let defend yourself.
Well,
What's up with that, Randy?
well, right now, X-Men are living on this living island that's called Krakoa. And so basically all of the Dawn of X and all of those X related titles right now are closely tied to Krakoa, the living island. So basically, we figured it would be a very good point getter just because of how prominent it's going to figure, especially into the year coming up.
Okay. That sounds good, actually. All right. I'm
Yeah.
on board with that.
But I still have questions about why you.
So it's like the island itself?
Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
island that has like a life to it, and all these white people live on it. So I mean, like.
Well, to be fair, it feeds off their psychic energy. So it's like there's kind of a symbiosis there. It's not like they're just benefiting off of the island and getting nothing in return. So.
Oh, I know. I'm just teasing. Because as they say on Twitter, we black people should not be used for the benefit of all these other groups, and Krakoa is.
Now we are the resources.
What'd you say?
I said, and now we are the resources.
That's right. I mean, although in 3 hours, things will change, and
Oh yeah.
Are you staying up? I think I'm gonna go to bed like the night before Christmas.
you're gonna just wake up like.
The powers will still be there when you wake up. It's cool.
No, I'm getting naked and gonna stand outside in the snow. Wait for
I mean, so Liz, what powers are you hoping to get when you wake up? Like,
I should really already have the answer to this. I'm probably thinking like time control, time travel, something like that.
Ooh, that's exciting. Liz, I'm on your team. Let's make a team.
I feel you. Randy, have you thought about like what your power is gonna be? Your 21.
Oh, I want to be a technopath who also is telekinetic. I want to control technology and I want to move things.
Oh, wow.
Tell the
All
universe, Randy. Tell the universe.
And Kia, what about you?
I want to do everything.
You
Fuck this
get
shit. It's like I want it all.
Power. You get power sometimes.
Well, I mean, when I was younger, I wanted more of like the fighty powers, but now I just want like practical powers that are gonna make my life easier. So I'm going for multiple man. I'm just gonna like create multiple versions of myself that will allow me to be like multiple productivity and work multiple jobs at the same time.
Actually, I'm going to be honest. My real superpower that I really want is to be able to turn anything I want into money. A whole lot of fucking money. I just want bills. $100 bills. What's up? I don't need this mattress. $100 bills. Woo!
Y'all kind of mentioned some powers that remind me of like I did a role play like game a few years ago, and we were making up different superpowers and stuff like that. And basically, one of them was called quantokinesis, where you can kind of like control how much there is of something. So technically, it would like encompass all of those things as far as like if you wanted to grow to giant size, if you want to like multiply money or have an infinite supply of different things, just like it kind of reminded me of that. Now with that,
okay, I want that too. Yep.
If I could choose and like cheat and get that power, then I would be set for life. Like just multiply myself and like if I want to, grow huge and beat up a kaiju, I just whatever. I have it all.
I feel like that's a cheap power. I don't know. I'm gonna think about that.
Yeah, that's the fun part.
That's like wishing for more wishes. I don't know.
Hey, Shaun, if you were black, what superpowers would you want?
He's already white. He doesn't need superpowers.
Oh, shit.
I would probably go for like maybe like like a molecular manipulation or something. Like that
Exactly.
comes
The
with a
cheat
lot
power
of
is the
stuff.
other way to go. Cheat powers. Cheat.
Yeah.
Cheat. Another way to
Yeah,
go.
why wouldn't you want something like that?
I just
If you
feel
could get
like
anything.
you have to like study that because you're manipulating things on a molecular level. So you have to know how the molecules are composed in
I can
order to
do
manipulate
research.
them.
Nah, just try it out. Figure it out on the guy on the fly.
I can cross that bridge when I get to it, but for now, my fridge is gonna always be full. I'm gonna always have like a full wallet. I'm gonna be cool until then.
Look, tomorrow I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna send my multiple to do my work for me while I sleep in. So I win. But so yeah, I mean, uh, Liz, we were talking about the actress Quintessa Swindell, who was
Who's only
cast.
starred in like 3 things. I just Googled her. Like, who is she?
Actor, they them.
They.
What's
is
the
he?
name?
Them.
Uh, wait, Quintessa uses they pronouns?
Yes, they them.
Oh,
Yep.
I'm sorry,
Oh.
I didn't realize that in the
I
article.
didn't know that.
Yeah, so
Ooh.
Quintessa Swindell, who was in
They were only in 3 things.
Euphoria, also working on In Treatment with Uzo Aduba, for the upcoming season. They will be playing the character Cyclone in the Black Adam movie. I'm not familiar with their work, but I guess
She
some
was
of
in
you are.
Euphoria?
Yeah, in
I didn't
Euphoria.
see they were in Euphoria.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
they were not. Who
They-
did they play?
Listen,
I'm sorry. Like,
this is so horrible. We're not making fun of it. It just doesn't roll off the tongue right as well as like regular stuff. So
no,
I'm
who did they
I
play?
am checking now.
'Cause I'm like,
Anna was the character that they played in Euphoria, who appeared in season 1, episode.
oh, that doesn't count. Only one time.
Background. Your water, sir.
Wow.
That's like me in Spike Lee's movie New Jersey Drive. I was an extra, but you don't see
were
me.
you really?
Yeah.
You might know me from some of my credits, such as Boy, number
Euphoria
5.
scene.
I was
don't
an
think I
extra,
was
but my character's
in
name was
Euphoria.
Anna.
She had a very intense backstory, if only we had gotten into it.
Yeah, I think maybe she had a scene in Euphoria.
Yeah, it was season 1,
At a
episode
party,
7.
drinking excessively or something.
Maybe she said something sassy.
Dang.
Yeah, or maybe she
Probably.
fell in the pool or something. I
They
don't know.
probably, yeah, they are way, way, way down on the list in the guest starring. Like, the only person below them is a person that is like not a link. So you know what that means.
Okay, well maybe she's in something else I've seen. Let me see.
Trinkets.
Yeah, we gotta work those pronouns better. But
Oh, they.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm not familiar with their work, but they are going to be playing Cyclone. And Cyclone's a superhero, and I'm here for it. They are very attractive, and I'm here for that too.
They are right.
They are.
I'm very interested in the idea of them casting Cyclone anyway, just because they could have cast Hawk Girl, Hawk Woman, and they decided to go with this character who has barely shown up in comics.
Well, that's because they have barely shown up in anything.
Oh, they're balancing that out.
They are just beginning. So
no, but isn't Cyclone affiliated more closely with the Justice Society?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. But the character has barely shown up anywhere. I think she has maybe a number of appearances that totals in the teens. Like,
Mm.
so I don't really know why they chose her as the character, but
I
I
mean,
mean,
I feel like this ties into the conversation that we had last week about DC and AT&T kind of
right,
going with more of a like a blank slate with their
right,
characters
right,
and giving them the opportunity to catch on in
right,
these live action portrayals and then having that sort of wag the dog. People, if they like those characters in these movies or in these
right.
TV shows, then expand their exposure in the comics.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
interesting.
But I mean, I'm clearly going to see the Black Adam movie, and given the other story that I should maybe jump into, that of DC's new era called Infinite Frontier. One of the
Woo-hoo.
big stories in Infinite Frontier is that Black Adam, surprisingly, is going to be part of the Justice League.
Uh-huh.
Um, I'll let you talk about DC's new Infinite Frontier era, your initial thoughts about it, and maybe some of your deeper thoughts about it.
I'm looking forward to it. I like that they're trying to create like include new people into like the Justice League team, like not
Mm-hmm.
people that you normally probably would think of.
Hmm.
Obviously, some people weren't too happy that certain types of characters weren't
Yeah.
in Justice League, like there was no Green Lantern, there was no Flash. But like I think it's okay because like you get Black Adam in there, you got Hippolyta in there as well. Like
Mm-hmm.
some people like, and then you got Black Canary and Green Arrow again in there, and Green Arrow's leading it.
Yeah.
I actually like Green Arrow, so like that's actually pretty interesting for me.
Hmm.
That Green Arrow is like the leading this specific Justice League team, even though it does have like Batman and Superman on there. So
Yeah.
like that's like an interesting thing, but like I still am looking forward to that. Um, I mean that's obviously personal thing. Green Lantern fan. There's not that much content for us.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you've got the ending of the Grant Morrison's Green Lantern. I don't really know when Jeff Thorne's Green Lantern run starts. John is in that. I think he's in that a one
Right.
shot that's going to come
Hmm.
out along with Alan Scott and like Obsidian and Jade, his kids, which are awesome. I love the fact that they're right there again.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, like, there's nothing like for the rest of the Green Lanterns. Unfortunately, it does go to that whole thing of like DC only focuses on like one or two at a given time. You
Yeah.
know?
I mean, I know we talked about this before. I mean, I can't remember if it was last week or 2 weeks ago. The idea that given that there's this new mentoring thing happening in the Teen Titans comics, that
Mm-hmm.
you might see um,
Kyle.
Kyle
Yeah,
working as a mentor for this Teen Lantern, and that being an opportunity to give Kyle a little bit more exposure.
yeah, because we know John's not going to be our mentor. He's just straight out said like, not me.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, it bears repeating. We talked about last week the Naomi TV show.
Yep.
The fact that Naomi is going to be put out there. This brand
Yeah,
new kind of black girl character is going to be out
mhm,
there in the Justice League.
yeah,
Probably a viewpoint character if we're guessing. I mean,
Yeah.
if you generally
yeah,
when you have a new character added to an established team, that becomes the focal point of the storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
What's
So,
the power?
um, let me pull it up. She has a lot of superpowers. It's kind of
The
like
I mean,
she has
yeah,
the
her powers
full.
are still kind of generic right now, like flight and strength and energy project. I'm not even sure if they define what the actual energy is that she can project. So
Yeah, I believe she's got
Hmm.
one of those like I come from a cosmic entity um,
Right.
superpower set where it's basically like energy projection, flight,
Yeah.
no.
super strength.
Yeah.
Let me pull it up. She was created by com- by Brian Michael Bendis and David Walker,
Uh-huh.
and her powers are transformation. Naomi can transform into a superpower form by using her unique power, and while in this super form, she wears a kind of golden armor and gains some superhuman abilities. And they include energy projection, flight, superhuman strength, superhuman durability. And her weaknesses, as thus far, are power instability, which means that she can't like keep that power for very long.
Okay.
Yeah, and they just announced a couple weeks ago that they're doing a CW show based on the character.
Mhm.
So,
Nice. Who's
you
the
know,
actress? That?
no, it hasn't been
They
cast
haven't
yet.
cast her yet.
I haven't
Ooh.
gotten to that part yet.
Yeah, but the
Ooh.
fact that this is a character that was whose first appearance was in March 2019.
Could be.
Let
You
me go see
know,
what it looks like.
yeah, like
So,
her
so
first.
I want to say the solo book for her is really good.
Yeah, I
It's
liked
very.
it. I enjoyed
She
it.
had she has like a minimal role in
Young Justice.
Young
Young
Justice,
Justice.
and she has appeared in recent issues. I believe it's Action Comics. So
Right.
she's kind of her star is rising, and I really hope that it's not like the blow up the balloon and then it just pops.
Yeah, I mean, I
So,
think, the way her solo story ended, there was, the idea that Superman was going to kind of mentor her,
Yep.
and they sort of fast tracked her from her solo book into Young Justice and now into the Justice League. And granted, I know that there are a lot of people, some people that we interact with regularly, that have a problem with like how quickly she was pushed to the forefront. But I'm here for it. I want to see where it goes, and hopefully, she's well written enough that people really like her. And like
Mhm.
there aren't that many black female characters in DC Comics, so I'd like to see one of them kind of catch on.
exists. No, but I mean, I think part of that is also that they really, really, really need to expand upon her powers beside the generic stuff. Because as much as I enjoy the character, I really like her personality. From what
Hmm.
we've seen, I like that they give her a really interesting backstory, so you have a lot more kind of story to tease out. But I need them to not have her be generic. Because if you do that, then it's very easy to write her off as a character, and you're
Hmm.
not really selling her to make her like, okay, well, I want to know more about her. Like maybe she doesn't have to necessarily have like a really extremely unique power like Storm has weather manipulation, but
Hmm.
at least do something that's kind of uh, unconventional as far as other previous like basically don't make her a redundancy on the team.
Hmm.
So
Well,
kind of make her stand out.
well, I kind of feel like the way to do that is in her personality, though.
Yeah.
Like the way to
What? Girls have personalities?
I know, imagine that. Like there are a lot of characters that have similar powers, but people like them because of their story, of their sort of meta story, what they're striving towards, what they're built around. And like even in her solo book, her interpersonal interactions were why I kept coming back to it. I didn't
Yeah.
really care about her powers. It's going to be interesting, obviously, in the Justice League book to make sure that she has a place there. But if one thing that Bendis does really well is write dialogue, and if he
Yeah.
gives her good lines, and if he makes her be the one who is saying the funniest things and saying the most interesting things in the book, then that will go a long way to people liking her.
Yeah.
And of course, in the TV show, if they cast someone really charismatic and really likable in that role, I could
I
see.
could see I could see Dom Fishback playing her. Dominique Fishback. I just saw her. She's the one in the Netflix movie with Jamie Foxx, but she's very good at holding her own.
Okay.
Mhm. She's pretty good. I'm like
Sure.
trying to picture it also like physically with the way the character looks.
Right. The only thing about Dominique Fishback is that she's a little older. Like she's meant to be.
Whoa! Don't get crazy. She has a baby face. What are you talking
No,
about?
no, but I'm just saying, like, she's meant to be
How
like
old
kind
is
of like a. Naomi's supposed to be basically like teenager slash.
Yeah,
Dom
look
just
at
played a high
Dominique's face.
schooler.
She looks like a
She played a
baby.
high schooler in the last movie I saw her and she played a high schooler.
Black
wow.
don't crack.
That is fair. That is
You know
fair.
that they always have adults play high schoolers.
Yeah,
I-
exactly, because they have to do all that sexual stuff. Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna have her doing sexual stuff on the CW. All right.
I mean, that's hey, they do. Like, hey, did you guys watch Vampire
Riverdale?
Diaries? Hello.
Or
Okay.
Riverdale.
Got you. I got you. All right. I mean,
I
listen,
haven't
far be
watched
it
it,
from
but
me.
I've heard about it. They do sexual stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, you heard it here first. I am being clearly voted out on that, and Dominique Fishback it is.
No, I mean, who do you think would be? Who do you
No,
think-
I didn't
little
have
baby
no.
cheeks.
do you
She
have
does.
an
I
idea
know.
of who-
I'm not denying that. I'm just saying that, like,
But you did call her old. So like, if I
Yeah.
ever meet her, I'm like, hey, I know
What's
this
her
guy. Here's his number. He called you old.
all I said was
She looks old.
she's 29. No. She's 29, but like the character's supposed
Oh
to.
wow, you just saw her age to the world. Jeez.
Yeah. Damn. Wow.
Well, maybe you got to take your age off the internet.
That can't be the Hollywood age though.
Oh, well, that's even worse. Like, for Hollywood,
No, does anyone else have a non-ageist casting opinion?
Oh, go Wes.
Age.
by all means, people, save me from
No.
me.
Martina's like, I stay on mute. I'm not touching this.
No, okay. What about the younger sister from Euphoria? What's her name? I don't know her name, her real life name, but you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. Wait, but he's probably looking up her age right now. Is she old enough? Oh, I didn't know she was really 32.
I think her name is Storm. I think her name is Storm something.
Oh, you're talking about Storm. Oh, never mind. Yeah, that's her name. She's like, oh no, you see, Storm Reed. Like,
Yeah. Isn't
Storm
she
Reed is kind of young, but see, now we're gonna get into.
There he goes again.
I was just saying she was appropriately aged. However, colorist takes. You know how that goes.
Is she? But the girl in the comic looks kind of brown. She's
Yeah.
kinda brown. I don't know how
mean,
late.
I
I don't know
feel-
how light Storm is. Yeah, you're right.
I
No.
feel like they will
Oh,
definitely try to make an issue of that because like especially because it's the CW. The CW is like has been under fire for that for years. They've been really, really
okay.
terrible about like
I see.
only light skinned black women really get a prominent
Yeah.
role.
All right, what about Marse Martin? What's her name? Marse Martin?
Oh, I
Yes,
mean,
that
can
would
they
be
afford her on the CW? They probably
I don't know.
cannot.
She's already on a few of the, what
Yeah,
network
like-
are they on? What is that? ABC, I think they're on.
She would be a really great fit if they got her, but I doubt
She's
that they
adorable.
would get her though. She's
Yeah.
like too good for them.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
like,
like
I'm directing already. I don't
Yeah,
know what
she's-
you want me to do. You want
it's
me to
like-
act?
Yeah.
It's like you want me to go to Vancouver? What?
Bring it here.
Yeah, but you play one of the few. Yeah, it is TV though. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say to play one of the few black superheroes, but still.
Yeah, and she's gonna be like, is there more? Can you put more depth to this character, please? Like,
Yeah.
Actually, I now that I think about it, Storm Reed might be a strong candidate because Ava DuVernay is one of the producers on this
Yeah.
series.
And she was in A Wrinkle in Time, wasn't
And she was a Wrinkle in Time. Yeah, she was the lead of the Wrinkle in Time. So that could happen. All right, we'll put that down. Maybe Ava will find a way to
maybe you should
navigate.
write it on Twitter and then tag them in it and say, hey, this is my idea.
That will go well.
Right, that maybe you can write that, Kia.
I would. I would. I wouldn't even care. I'm like, I'm just learning about Twitter. I think this is how you do it.
But one thing that you mentioned about the Justice League is that, obviously we talked about last week, the new Batman, the Tim Fox Black Batman. I think it's possible that the Batman in this Justice League is not going to be Bruce Wayne. It's going to be Tim Fox. He's still
Do we
kind
know
of.
how much into the future those stories are going to be? Like Tim's stories are going to be?
Well, that's the thing. We know that his stories are going to start in the present day, even if he's also going to be featured in the future state.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So-
they have mentioned that he's like not gonna be just done after Future State. So I mean, I feel like even though it could potentially be a good idea, I also feel like DC is they really suck at diversity, and that's in addition to sucking at the portrayal of diversity, they're really bad at pushing the hype of diversity. So their fans are like, what is this? This is entirely too many brown and black people. Like, nah, I'm not here for that. So I wouldn't be surprised if they probably tried to go like, I don't know. I feel very just
So
pessimistic about
would you be more upset if the Batman in the Justice League was Tim, the Black Batman, rather than regular Bruce?
well, I mean, I'm not particularly invested in Batman at all. So if they can get me to like, oh, cool, Batman, then I'm here for that, obviously. But if I'm just kind of skeptical of their willingness to really bank on um, Tim being Batman. So I mean, I would like them to prove me wrong.
Right. I mean, obviously, we don't know anything about Tim except that he is Lucius Fox's son who's been estranged from the family and off doing whatever, right? So theoretically, he could have been going off to all the camps that Bruce went to and getting all the training that Bruce got over the last couple years and could be just as competent as Bruce, but, just be a black guy. However,
I can I
yeah,
just
sure,
throw a
Sean.
couple things out.
No, you're
Based
right.
on
You
the
can't say
Infinite
nothing.
on the Infinite Frontier promo, there's two things that stood out to me. Tim Fox is there in the
Yep.
Batman suit, which makes me think because he's going to meet Bruce Wayne in the future, Bruce Wayne is going to send him back in time to stop future Slate. That's where I think it's going. And the last person they made a time traveler was Tim Drake.
Spoiler alert.
So you think this is going to be a time traveling?
I do. I also think that is
time-
Bendis's bread and butter, and he is in Bendis's book. And then
Bread
also,
and
do
butter.
we have a Wonder Woman book yet? Because Wonder Woman is the thing in the sky. I think she's gonna become like a god. Like
Yes.
she already is a god, but I think she's
Well,
gonna
Well, she
be.
already
She's
was
gonna.
doing
Does
the
have one.
lightning
She's
thing
gonna
in the
be Franklin
movie.
Richards. That is how Dark
Well-
Knight Death Metal is gonna end. It is gonna rip off Hickman because it's been ripping off Hickman the whole time, and it's gonna end with her becoming Franklin Richards.
Well, a lot of the promo art, there is a Wonder Woman book, and a lot of the promo art suggests that she's dead in the afterlife
And
amongst the.
she's in like the costume that makes her like the Spectre.
Right.
So yeah.
But specifically going back to the Tim Fox thing, we've met in the one of the more recent issues rather of Batman, we were introduced to Tim Fox alongside the
nobody.
rest of the Fox family. I don't think they have to do major time travel to say that, he's getting all access to all of the money and the resources that Lucius Fox has and has decided that he wants to be a Batman, and somehow be in conflict with Bruce Wayne's Batman.
I think it works well though, because Lucius Fox can't be too tightly connected to this Batman. They will find out unless he can pull, like, they're probably going to be watching his money more than they were watching Bruce's money.
Because he's black.
And but having his son from the future be Batman, he can support that and also not have it be his family. They go, oh, maybe it's a fox, and he's like, no, look, all the foxes are right here. They're with me, but it is a fox.
Oh, that's interesting.
All right, we're gonna have to we'll revisit that as the story progresses over the next couple months. Are there any other stories from this Infinite Frontier that are intriguing to you, Randy?
Me?
Oh, well, I mean, let me see. What is sorry? What is the actual lineup for Infinite Frontier?
So we don't have a lineup yet. We just kind of have a bunch of promo images, and some of the books in the post Future State world have been announced, but there's not a whole rollout of what it's going to entail. They're still shrouded in secrecy, as they say.
Well, I will
Mike, check
say,
your phone while Randy's talking.
yeah, I'm trying to check the promo myself. Basically, a lot of kind of the expected people are getting titles and stuff like that, and I don't really see them going too far out of the box. But um, you see somebody like Stargirl, and you see Wally and Barry, and so I mean, I guess I'm kind of interested to see what all it teases out to be as far as who we see and what new stories they bring. But I don't really know enough, I guess, to form a an opinion on.
All right. Martine, do you have any anticipated future state? I'm not future state. Infinite Frontier books or characters or storylines that you're looking forward to?
Um, no, I mean, I'm gonna be interested in the one shot. I'm gonna be interested in the new Justice League run, see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
But there's not like a lot of stuff that I'm super looking forward to. Um, I'll
Yeah.
read some of it if I have the time and like, but the things I'm looking forward to I think are just gonna be for right now just the one shot and maybe the Justice League stuff maybe.
Okay.
Okay.
What about you, Shaun?
Tom Taylor is on Nightwing. Holy shit, that's my
Oh, yeah.
favorite character. Tom Taylor. I got Tom Taylor. Fuck all you guys. He's mine now.
And
You're
and
the
my
only
understanding
one
is
on
that
leaving anytime soon.
he's going to be paired with Batgirl.
I
Right?
mean, I've been arguing that they should be doing pairings in books for so long because
Yeah.
there's not enough space for every character to have a solo. Do
Right.
duos.
Well,
Right.
well,
Batman and Robin.
speaking of pairings, I read an article title that said the Guardians of the Galaxy and X-Men are building a polyamorous new worlds.
Yeah, let's talk about Star-Lord's polyamory.
Okay.
I mean,
Tom
since you're
Taylor's on
talking about
Nightwing.
pairings.
What were your thoughts about Star-Lord and his polyamory, Kia?
I was just there for the word polyamory. I didn't actually read the article.
Awkward. I did read the book. It was interesting, but I don't know if it's going to figure prominently in his ongoing story. I think it's going to be more of a thing that happened in his past, um, and it will inform his character, but it won't be a regular aspect of his character. What do you think, Shaun?
I feel like it's targeting Chris Pratt, and I really hope they just go for it because James Gunn, I think, said his Star Lord is bisexual. I was like, yeah,
Oh,
okay,
that's
so
also what
let's
I
put
think.
Chris Pratt's mouth where that money is,
Yeah.
because I would really like that guy to have to kiss a guy, especially given the real life things that have come out about him.
I kissed a guy and I liked it.
So do you think you think that's going to incorporate itself into Guardians of the Galaxy 3?
It
Maybe the
should.
holiday special.
Oh, I forgot about the holiday special, right? Mistletoe.
I mean, what's the
Um,
point? What's the point of the announcement if they don't weave it into the storyline, right?
Right.
Well,
Exactly.
It's
Liz.
like fake tokenism, right?
Yeah, but that's
Right.
like that's a thing that happens all the time, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like people are like, "Oh yeah, this guy's totally bi," but you'll just not see it on screen.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
But
Happens
like
a lot.
it happens. It happens. just
Right
just
after the credits roll.
yeah, like
After
oh,
the credits roll.
you just missed it. Oh man, guys, you just got it on hot and heavy with a dude. Like
A guy winked at him and he totally didn't act grossed out.
you know. But no, I mean theoretically you could have something between Star Lord and Nova,
Yeah.
because they have a, you know, bromance, so to speak, that could easily be a little something different.
Yeah.
Include Gamora in that, make it polyamorous.
I mean, that's what the recent Guardians of the Galaxy title did. Like, I think it was the
But it
one
wasn't Gamora.
before.
It was like these characters that we
Yeah.
never see again.
Well, no. I mean, before that, I think it was. I'm trying to think. The previous Guardians of the Galaxy title where they where Nova and Gamora like meet in a bar somewhere. It's
Oh
like,
yeah, I forgot that
like,
Nova and Gamora got
I
together.
forget. I loved him too, or something like that. It's some kind of like quick
Uh,
line.
Yeah.
Nova and Gamora have been together for a while. Like they have a history.
Well,
All
yeah,
right.
but that's what I'm saying. Like they still kind of had that line in there of like where Nova
When
says
Quill
I
died.
love him too. So I don't really know if they were trying to hint at it back then. Maybe he loved him a little bit more than just regular love. I don't know.
Right. I mean, it's a little ambiguous, in that sense because they had never showed
Yeah.
anything between Quill and Dick.
It's like Alexander and Shafiskin.
Dick Ryder and
Oh, you
Quill
beat me
had
to it.
had not yet shown had not been shown together, but um, it's right
Tumblr,
there.
get to work.
It's right there. And of
Get to
course
work,
there's
Tumblr.
and of course yeah exactly there's tumblers as we speak. And of course in the X-Men world there's the throuple of Wolverine, Jean Grey, and Cyclops, which is pretty much canon at this point.
Yes.
Any rumors that FCL is going to be awarding bonus points for that, Shaun? No?
Pretty sure we did give him a character development for it.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like any actual sexual Congress
Yeah, should get a point.
should get some points.
Mhm.
A very, very good point. Very good.
Just the tip.
What do you think, Rick?
I had walked out the room and then I heard the word sexual, so I walked back.
She came back right when he said just the tip.
whatever. Yo.
No, we were just talking about whether like characters should
We're
score
on the
points.
tip.
Like when they score in the books, they should score out of the books.
And for purposes of this game, yes.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I vote yes to that.
And
Oh, sorry about that.
so there were actually two more casting. One was confirmed casting and one was unconfirmed casting. The Superman and Lois show is gaining Adam Rayner, who, wait a second, is he Middle Eastern?
I think he's like,
Surprise!
I believe he's half. I'm not sure what.
All right, let me look him
Yeah, I
up.
believe he is. Yeah. He was on Tyrant, where basically he played a biracial, half white, half Middle Eastern guy who like goes overseas and like reconnects with his family, and it's a very good show from what I saw. But
Right. I mean, it doesn't say on the Wikipedia page, but we'll assume because he was playing a Middle Eastern that he's actually Middle Eastern, but maybe not.
It doesn't look like it.
I mean, he looks super white, but that
No,
doesn't.
like because it says why it matters that FX Tyrant didn't cast a Middle Eastern actor.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, he's just British. He's just British.
The
I was
guy he's
hoping that I was
replacing.
wrong.
The guy he's
I was hoping I was
replacing
wrong.
was actually.
That's
Adrian
Pasdar,
Pasdar?
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, that's unfortunate.
that's messed up.
I'm a big fan of Adrian Pasdar as an actor.
I know.
I'm not familiar with Adam Rayner, but he's going to be taking on the role of Morgan Edge, who is a classic business mogul type villain. He was previously featured on Supergirl, played by Adrian Pasdar, and he's going to be played by Adam Rayner in this upcoming Superman and Lois show.
But can I kind of mention that this is sort of making me feel like another problem kind of crewing over, basically kind of accruing over at the Superman and Lois show, because like this is not my first time hearing about them kind of being a bit problematic race wise. Like
Oh
when
yeah, there was that controversy, right?
right. So I hope that this is just like a couple of kinks that they're working out in their their world building and not like gonna be a consistent problem. Especially with like a character with Superman.
I mean,
So
it's CW. It's kind of like
yeah,
50-50, right?
right, exactly. So I'm worried and I really hope that this is like, not a persistent issue of like, oh wow, their black characters are mostly light skinned, or they don't really have that many black characters. Or no, I hope that this is not going to be just continually building up more issues with that show because I'm really hopeful for that show.
Well, one thing about the show that is kind of still interesting is that they are casting a black Lex Luthor. I mean, well, they did cast a black Lex Luthor um, in that show. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, the one prominent black person on the show is the villain. I
Yes, yes,
again
yes, yes. But he is
again I
Lex
hope
Luthor, so it's a balancing act,
again
Like,
I hope that it's not uh,
I mean, to be continued. We'll follow it. Obviously, we at the Racial Draft are pro race bending, even
yeah,
though there may be some problematic things happening, and we'll call it out on the show when it
absolutely,
happens.
yeah.
Um, and the other story, which was kind of in the realm of rumors, is that the Peacemaker series, which is due to star, spin off of the Suicide Squad, it's going to
Mhm.
star John Cena, has Maggie Q to potentially play a detective in the series. There's not a lot known about the role. This is from our friends at the Illuminati. So stay tuned. Are you guys fans of Maggie Q as an actress?
Maggie Q who?
Maggie Q is what she goes by. She was on the show Nikita. She was also in Mission Impossible. And
I haven't seen either of those.
Are you Googling? I'm just saying.
well, fair enough. If you're not, if you guys, I mean, I'm familiar with the name,
Oh
and I
yeah, you did you said like she was in Nikita, like she was Nikita. Lord have mercy. Come on.
okay. I
Yes.
mean, I was
In Nikita
hoping.
versus being Nikita is totally different.
Fair enough. She played Nikita. Um, are you a fan of hers then?
Yes, I am. Nikita is amazing. She did such a great job. I like her. And also she has like this ad for like her stomach problems or something. And then she went to this guy and he like cleared it up. Like, and it was great.
All right. Well, there you go, Maggie Q. When you've got stomach
She's
problems,
also in Designated Survivor.
which I've never seen.
Oh.
Neither have I.
And
But
Divergent.
wait, the movie Divergent?
Never seen
Yeah.
that either.
All
And then
right.
she's in Balls of Fury. How do you not see that?
Yeah, isn't she in a Joss Whedon thing? I think that's where I first
Yeah.
saw her.
I'm not familiar with the Joss Whedon thing she was in, but
Maybe I'm thinking of Summer Glow.
She was
or
in Stalker.
well, rumor has it that she will be playing a major character, NSA agent.
Oh, that's gonna be awesome. She's really good as an agent.
So when when the show comes to HBO Max, we will talk about it and we will score it. But that's it for our news. I mean, we may as well. Now's as good as time as any to dive into previewing round 3.
Oh,
There
Oh,
obviously.
that's I remember Maggie Q from Fantasy Island. I see.
there you go.
Okay, now I'm kind of happy for her. Okay, cool.
That is hilarious. So yeah, so in round three, as per our snake draft rules and draft order, is going to go kind of like how round 1 went, with the Asian delegation with the first pick, the multiracial delegation with the second pick, the black
Mm,
delegation with the third pick,
uh-huh.
the fourth pick going to the. I'm trying to do this off the top of my head. The Polynesian delegation.
I thought it
Fifth
was.
pick
Oh, I
going
thought it
to
was
the
Latin.
no, the fifth pick going to Latinx. The sixth pick going to Native American. The seventh pick going to the white delegation. The eighth pick going to the Jewish delegation, and the ninth and final pick of the round going to the South Asian delegation. However, the South Asian delegation, Arjun, has already presented to me who his
Huh.
poll choices will be.
Please
So
don't make
I
me.
Ooh, the
would
dancing
do
like
beginning.
to
this.
get everybody's
Weak jump.
reactions.
But
Okay.
you have our attention.
Oh, okay.
Reactions to the poll. All right. Starting with Matt Murdock.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Martine, what do you think? South Asian Matt Murdock?
I can get behind that. Yeah.
Shaun?
Motherfucker is in jail. What are you doing?
Kia?
I like Matt Murdock, and according to Arjun, he really likes that character. So I understand why he picked it.
Liz? Daredevil? Matt Murdock? Liz is a
Yes.
little bit indisposed. We'll go back. We'll loop back around. Randy? South Asian Matt Murdock.
I would definitely not have imagined it, but I'm interested.
Why not?
Well, I'm saying because like it's just I don't know. It's I would like to see the dots that are connected to make it work. I'll put it that way. I don't doubt that it could be a good pick, but I'm very
Do you just say South Asian and dots?
Oh, why did you do that? Why did you do that,
I'm sorry,
Kia?
I didn't do that. Randy did, and I just pointed it out.
All right.
Oh, God.
We're gonna move on. All right, fair enough. Second pick in the poll. Dinah Lance, the Black Canary. Randy, your thoughts?
I'm not seeing it, but if they do go that route, then I wouldn't be mad. I think that could potentially work.
All right. Liz, are you with us? Liz is still not with us. Kia. Black Canary.
Black
South Asian
Canary.
Black
I
Canary.
mean, did anybody pick Black Canary last season? Or was
No,
that like,
no one did.
yeah, no one did, right?
Nobody picked her this
here.
time.
Yeah, like I mean,
She's gonna be in the Justice League this time.
Right. She is a good
well, I
prospect.
mean, I'm still a little underwhelmed. I mean, I'd rather see Matt Murdock than
All right.
Black
Shaun?
Canary.
Man, my heart is breaking with this poll because like there are certain characters that need to be picked and they're not going to be picked.
Well, they will be picked.
We're doomed.
Hey, we don't mention those characters. Not you.
Martine, Black Canary.
I mean, the only thing I know she's gonna be in is that Justice League stuff, and with Green Arrow leading it, I could definitely see her, like being like a second in command situation, which in that way, yes, but like, interesting to say the least.
Yeah.
So I may need to make some kind of ruling, given
Okay.
that there's a Arrow CW verse type deal. As far as I know, we don't really know where that character is going to end up. There's a possibility that character will show up in CW series. Obviously, it was a big part of the Arrow show. Clearly, because of the people really liked in Birds of Prey, they liked the Black Canary character played by Journey Smollett. And so there's a possibility that character has a higher profile. Liz, you're back. You're back among us. Yes, maybe.
Are you back?
Here, yeah.
Yeah. So there's a poll from the South Asian delegation. There were two choices so far. I'm just going one, pick by pick. The first one was Daredevil, South Asian Daredevil,
Mm-hmm.
and the second was
Mm-hmm.
South Asian
I
Black
like it.
Canary. What were your sort of like
Oh.
quick thoughts about either of those?
I would say Daredevil because I would like Black Canary to be black.
All right. So Martine, did you give your thoughts about Black
Yeah,
Canary?
yeah, I already did.
Yeah, so I mean, it remains to be seen. Like, I think that there's a possibility that they do green light a Black Canary Disney Plus HBO Max series. I keep doing that, and if when that happens, there's a possibility that they'll push that character to the forefront yet again. The third pick, which I'll be honest, full disclosure, was my least favorite pick of the poll choices. Uh, Hank Pym. Um,
Ah,
Martine, would you like to give your thoughts about South Asian Hank Pym?
As of right now, it's the least, it's the most underwhelming of the options. Um, but I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, and compared to the other two, I could see the other two. I could see them doing good, maybe, but I don't know about Hank Pym right now.
Yeah, I
Next,
feel you. I feel you, Shaun. Hank Pym.
Pass.
Kia, Hank Pym.
I'm picking that one.
It's played by Michael Douglas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the Ant-Man movies, he's the original Ant-Man.
Oh.
And we won't mention what he's infamous for in the comics.
I mean, basically, Hank
Okay.
Pym has had a cloud over his head ever since that, and he wasn't really particularly amazingly popular before that. So before
What's
that
he
little
famous for?
incident, he hits the Wasp, Janet Van Dyne, who was his wife at the time. He hits her,
Like,
and then on top of that, not even hitting her
well, she's a
because it was in the
wasp. I mean, like, she's bigger than he is. She
No.
doesn't defend himself.
No, but see, he doesn't hit her even because it was in the script. It was actually in the script that it was like some other kind of gesture that he does, and the artist took artistic liberty to make that hit happen. And ever since then, they've kind of like it's been a snowball effect of just basically kind of just tossing him aside as a character. And I mean, I don't particularly see him making a comeback.
Like, where did he hit
because
her?
no, but he hits like smacks her across the face, backhand slap. Almost.
Yeah, he iked her.
Was she
Oh,
was she
man.
mouthing off? I mean,
Oh, We're
just kidding.
I'm stopping this party right
Yeah,
now.
so he was
We're-
on with Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Sean Connery used to think it was
Let's
okay
just
to
move on.
back
That is
him.
true. That is true. He was
I'm
he
just
was
kinda-
Sean,
I'm just
he's
kinda-
007ing it.
Well, see, it was basically he took the artist took that artistic choice, and ever since then it kind of snowballed downhill and been like, okay, we don't really want to use him, or we use
Oh,
him
wow.
in like a mad scientist kind of capacity where he does like these harmful things. And recently he is merged with his Frankenstein monster creation
Of Ultron. Yeah.
Tron.
Wait,
So he hasn't even shown up really since like last time he showed up was what in
Hold on, I got this.
In Iron Man, I believe.
wait, did the slap stay in the movie?
No, the slap
no,
wasn't
it
in the
happened in the
movie.
comics.
Yeah,
It happened in the
they-
comics. They never showed
Oh,
it
it
in
happened
the
in the
movie.
comics. Oh, well,
Yeah, it never happened in the
Uh,
movie. But
So
it was
he
like
appeared 4 times this year.
In Iron Man, yeah.
That's more than I expected.
Yeah.
right. That's what I'm saying. I didn't expect him to show up at all because he's like, unless he's actually like one of the main cast of characters, he doesn't really show up. So I would really like to see hopefully somebody, I mean, hopefully
Listen,
they
I'm
pick
gonna say
Hank Pym.
I'm gonna say this
Hopefully
right
he
now.
wins hopefully he wins the poll so we can get some of those other really great characters.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't, I wouldn't have gone that route.
I'm gonna say right now, I don't want to see any dirty polling right now. I don't want to see anybody trying to stack the poll for Hank Pym because that is
Oh, I'm gonna stack
that
the
is what
poll.
that is what nobody wants, right?
I feel like that needs to happen. Don't listen to
Oh,
me.
yeah. Y'all gonna get this poll.
I'll talk
I'm
to
just
Carlos.
letting you know right now. Wanna make
So
sure.
the final poll choice, last but not least, is Jean Grey, the Phoenix.
Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God.
Randy, what are your thoughts about South Asian Jean Grey?
That would be the best bet. He better hope
No,
that's
she didn't even get
right.
points this time.
Well, no, but she does show up, right? A fairly consistent,
Ask Shaun. Look at Sean's face. That's a hell no.
That's not a hell no.
I just
That's
want
that's his best pick.
I just want her to be
Jean Grey is
played
sitting
by
at number
Priyanka
25.
Chopra. I just
that's
want her
what
to be
it feels
played by
like.
Priyanka Chopra.
It feels like that's his best pick, and I would like, even though I would be
Sean's
like,
like,
wow,
yeah.
dang, it hurts that we didn't get her. It would still feel like, yeah, that's a respectable pick.
Liz, what are your thoughts about South Asian Jean Grey?
I'm thinking about it. I don't hate it. It kind of makes some sense.
Okay.
I
Kia?
don't know why, but it does. I like it. I like it.
You know what? I'm down with any of the 4 that he has chosen. I'm okay with all of them.
Shaun?
I hope he gets Jean Grey.
I hope he gets Hank Pym. So we can get
Wow, guys. You got
Are we leaving it to the people? How does it work?
Yeah, the people choose all week.
Mm.
We put up a poll, and whoever the people choose is who.
Honestly, Jean Grey seems like a white woman of color. I could see it.
And that's what makes that poll extra dirty.
So who's not locked up this week? Who's in the poll last week? The 4 characters. There was.
We're not talking about anybody that's
nobody
available
tell
now.
him.
We are not talking about it.
Nobody tell
It's
him.
fair.
No,
It's
we're
fair.
not going to talk about it.
I'm number 7. I'm not getting
So-
anybody I want.
It
The
doesn't
3 that
matter. Yeah,
weren't
exactly.
picked
Exactly.
were-
Therefore, we are not going to talk about it.
Forbidden. We're not going to mention them on air.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Well, they
we're not
are.
going to mention them
Wonder Woman.
anywhere.
Wonder Woman really needs to get God.
Hey, you know what, Shaun? I think you beat
Yeah.
us. You beat us.
Watch her be
Not
the
the
Asian's
time.
pick.
Ah!
And then he's
They
back
don't
to
pay
play.
attention. They don't pay attention. If you don't say
Send them a
anything,
message.
they won't pick it.
Appropriate. Party foul. No.
I'm sending Ron a message.
Yeah. Oh my God, son! I will
Let's
fight
do it.
you. I will
No.
fight you, son. Shaun, do not do it. Do not do it. Don't be that guy.
I need somebody that is able to go toe to toe with Martine because I can't take him down alone. I need Wonder
Well,
Woman to
I'm
go
trying
to
to
a
help
good
Shep,
team.
okay? All right.
This is hilarious.
Shep got the flash. He's not in the running anymore.
Wow.
He can be if he gets Wonder Woman.
Hush.
Yeah, that is true. Who's the first draft?
Asian, Ron.
Asian
So,
and then
you know,
multiracial.
it'd be a shame if someone sent him a message.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Martine already did.
Wait,
like,
Wait, Martine, aren't you trying to win? Like, why are you?
Yeah, why would you even say it? Like, we could just miss it. They could just, or they could just.
But then
miss
it goes to you. Then it goes to the multiracial. It's
But I'm
like-
not playing.
Just
No,
for that,
not I didn't say you. I said the multiracial.
Yeah, but Shep obviously did not care because I mean I wouldn't have put the Flash in without our poll. I would have had like Ant-Man, Wonder Woman, all above one above all, like the Crow. Like that's what I would have put in my poll if I wanted Wonder Woman. Obviously, Shep didn't care.
Okay, can we
for
get the
that-
2 characters on every team? Because I want to know where people are standing right now.
Wait, what did you say?
I want to know what everybody's 2 characters are.
Oh, okay. I'll go quickly. So the Asian delegation got Reed Richards and Captain America. The multiracial delegation got Wolverine and Flash. The black delegation got Krakoa and Black Panther. The Polynesian delegation got Thor and Storm. The Latinx delegation got Batman and Harley Quinn. The Native American delegation got Echo and Vision. The U obviously got Superman and Cyborg. The Jewish delegation got
Hulk, right?
the Hulk. Yeah, the Hulk and Captain Marvel. And and the South Asian delegation got Doctor Strange and Supergirl. And
Everybody's doing much better at the end of the second round this time around. Like I'm like, there's no Actually, there is a clear loser.
No,
but
no. Let's be fair. Let's be real here.
Okay, but like the Native American delegation doesn't come to play. Of the people who have come to play, there is a clear loser.
Who's the clear loser?
I'm not going to say.
Say it. Don't be scared. You have
No,
Superman.
don't trail off like that.
Yeah, don't be scared.
I mean, the black delegation.
Oh,
Black Panther is weak, and Krakoa is like
Liz.
I hope Krakoa pulls through for you, but Krakoa isn't gonna pull through.
So Liz,
Oh, okay. Maybe
that?
I didn't want your opinion
Wait a
after all.
second, like a sixth round, like a fifth, sixth round draft. Yeah, Krakoa is amazing. In the second round,
yeah, I'm inclined to agree with Shaun.
because we got to get people who get points. We got to not just appearances. Appearances don't just matter. It's the point.
Yeah.
So Liz,
very
as a member of the Black Delegation, are there characters that you would like to see end up being drafted in this round for in addition to Black Canary, who you already mentioned? Just off the top of your head,
No, the one that's gonna win. I don't have anything off the top of my head. I don't. But I have to. Okay, so tell me again which comic it's gonna be based on coming up.
So it's going to be based on all the Marvel and the DC comics, starting in when we finish the draft in May. So you can't 100% go off of what's happening right now. It's more like projecting out based on kind of who generally and historically gets exposure, and who they say, because often they'll solicit the comics for the coming months, so you have sort of an idea of where the storylines are heading. There's one character I have in the back of my head that I won't say because
You don't want to get snatched up.
yeah, but given what we know about the Asian delegation's unwillingness to listen to the show or come onto the show, I could probably say it. But Randy, may not actually go that route, and then someone else will get it, aka the white delegation.
I'm number 7. I'm pissed off because I didn't want Superman last round. I mean, I was never going to say no to Superman, but there's a
Right.
character that I'm clearly not going to get because I got Superman, and that breaks my heart.
Wow.
Mhm.
What character is that, Shaun? Tell us.
I'm not going to say on the off chance that not. I'm screwed. I got really
Just in
excited about
case.
the character earlier. You guys should be able to figure it out.
Does that require us to
Listen
pay
to the podcast?
pay
I
full
mean, what?
attention to what you're saying?
I
As a
did.
guru, I would hope. So yeah, I know you did, Martine. I know who's gonna take it, and it's gonna hurt, and I'm gonna cry. But I
Look at
also
Martine.
agree
He's like,
with
he
the
can't even like
decision
hold back a smile. What?
that Ron definitely needs Wonder Woman. Of the two, between Ron and the multiracial, and Wonder Woman on his team is less threatening.
Less threatening.
Yeah.
That sounds racial.
That does sound Rachel.
It sounds super racial. It's like the Asian. I feel like the Asian Wonder Woman is a little bit more passive. She's not as aggressive.
Oh my god.
Hey, Randy, I think I'm gonna match your Krakoa pick this week.
Hmm.
How are you gonna
Okay,
match
now-
that?
now-
The crow is not available.
It will make sense once we get to round 7.
See, I'm like, basically, I'm still in the midst of trying to figure out who I actually want, just because it's sort of difficult to predict.
Who's gonna get taken?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you're the
So-
third pick of the round. Like,
Well,
you don't
right.
have that many characters to project out, right? You just have to,
Right. So I just want to. I have some who are like in my top lineup of who I
Like who?
want. Squirrel
You
Girl.
you probably don't
I'm
wanna-
a fan. of
I mean,
Squirrel
he
Girl.
can say it. I mean, it's the black team. Come on.
I'm a fan of Jubilee. Y'all know. Hellcat maybe, Cloak and Dagger. I don't know. So,
Um,
yeah, I have.
that's a 12th round pick. Just letting you know.
I'm
See,
not
that's
gonna
what I
get
say.
into
You can
those
say,
people,
you can say whatever.
right?
He's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, but Dazzler should come back."
I'm like, I mean, yeah, y'all know I'm gonna pick Pace Pot Pete or something, shake it up a little bit. Make sure y'all feel the wrath and the fury.
I have been playing the Fantasy Comic League for 6 years, and every single month I draft, I'm going to go, what if this is the month I pick my favorite characters? And I never do. And the promise is always just right there, but I'm too damn competitive. And
I mean, like, you don't want to really take risks. You can't be too much outside of like, oh, I love this character, so I'm going to pick them. Like, no,
Well,
it doesn't work that way.
I mean, it's a 12-round draft. You could always, have your favorites be in round
no,
10
those
through
12 rounds
12.
should
Down
matter.
the
All of them
line,
should matter.
down the line, I could see that, but I mean, that's once you get all of like the big name people out of the way. Like, I mean, you don't want to just be like, oh yeah, I like.
Is Krakoa a big name?
No.
But now it is, yeah. A decently big name anyway. Maybe not like the top scorer, but I don't think we made a bad choice this round.
I'm very
I
interested
love you,
to see
Randy.
how
I'm just
Krakoa
busting your
does.
balls. 'Cause it's fine.
I mean, the important thing is that in less than 2 hours, Krakoa will be a bigger name because that's where we'll all end up.
in less than 2 hours. I mean, it's 2 hours
I
of
will-
thinking, it doesn't even matter.
I'll put it this way: if we get into like season 5 and season 6, then I know better than to try to draft Krakoa because their time will have been done. But right now, I feel like it's a fairly safe bet. We're going to get some good points. So.
I feel you. I mean, it's compared to Dazzler and Domino, it'll probably work out for you guys.
Good shade. Good shade. How come Mike gets the best shade and everybody?
Yeah, we definitely need to
Randy's like,
not have a repeat of like Goku and like Katara and all of those. Like, nah, let's not do that.
Right.
I just want to say though, we have mined the top 10 of Marvel clean.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is definitely a clear Marvel bias.
But the DC is the first you want because DC just puts down the same people over and over.
Right.
Exactly. Those are the top 10 you want.
Exactly.
I hear you.
I have Cyborg and Superman. Marvel isn't even here to play right now.
I hear you.
Marvel, that's kind of their strength and their weakness because narratively it's their strength because it's like you get some of everybody, like, basically if you're a fan of Marvel characters or if you have like a certain character, your lesser known character is more likely to show up over at Marvel. DC, they are like, you wanted the Creeper, you wanted Justice League of China. No, sorry, here's more Batman and more Superman. Enjoy. Like that's just what they do. So that's definitely narratively it's a bit more stagnating for me, but competitively I get that they're more reliable. So
Right. Well, I feel like that's as good of a time as any to sort of start to wind down the show. I'll give Shaun. I'll allow you white privilege. I'll give you the opportunity to speak first, and talk a little shit about also plug the Fantasy Comics League, but talk a little shit about the strategy that's been employed.
I mean, Arjun, man, you had a duty, you had a job. I'm glad you went with your favorites. I'm happy you're gonna get one of your favorites. You better give a great backstory to that favorite because you just let some chaos run loose on players who didn't need the privileges you are giving them. Like even Martin kind of gets some of that privilege, but he's fifth, he's down there. He's not gonna, unless people go with favorites, he's not gonna get the great ones this round. That's what I'm hoping for.
We have an entire list ready to go.
Also, Fantasy Comic League. Follow us at fantasycomicleague.com. We've got all these stats that we talk about all the time ready for everybody to see. And you can also find us on Twitter at FantasyComicLG.
Hey, Shaun, when's the next season of Fantasy Comics League kicking off?
We will be kicking off in January.
All right.
Ooh, January
Ooh.
23rd, because that's my birthday.
Hey.
Yeah, this
Is that
super-
Aquarius?
Yes.
Nice.
Check your messages.
Oh, speaking of holidays that are coming up, we're less than a week away from Kwanzaa, where we're mashing together Kwanzaa and Wakanda celebrations. So
I'm so excited.
yeah,
It goes well with December 21st and getting our powers and
exactly. We're gonna get our powers in the beginning of the week, and then
And
at
then
the
we
end of the
celebrate-
week we'll be celebrating Kwanzaa.
on
And
Black Hoa.
right on Black Hole, we're gonna celebrate Kwanzaa. So that's gonna be December 26th.
I like how
Everybody, hashtag Kwanzaa. Do your Wakanda forever, and make it happen for Black people.
I'm gonna tell my family now. I'll see you on Kwanzaa.
Liz, would you like to address everyone and give your thoughts out?
No. This is the last time I'm going to talk to you, peasants. Tomorrow I'm going to have a superpower. So, no.
You're just going to speak to us with your
Yeah.
mind.
She's just gonna fade out and then come back.
No.
All right.
Is this the last show before? Is this the last show before Christmas? Because happy holidays to everybody.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
She never said happy Hanukkah. I'm just saying.
There's a
I
slightly
said
more
holidays.
important.
Just all of
Yeah,
them,
but Hanukkah's
all of
over.
The holidays.
Oh,
It's
there's
over
a
already.
slightly more important date in 4 days' time. That is my birthday. And fuck
What?
Christmas
Oh,
because it's right after, and my birthday's never mattered because of it.
So it's basically a white Christmas.
It just started snowing tonight too. Well done.
oh, happy birthday, Shaun. I'm gonna be sure to say happy birthday to you. What day was it again?
Christmas Eve.
Oh, okay.
December
Oh, yeah,
24th.
I will be too busy saying happy
baby
victorious birthday
Jesus.
to Jesus. Exactly.
So he was really
Yeah.
he was born in like June or July or whatever. But yeah, we don't need to be scientifically correct on that.
One year, my mom forgot to get Christmas paper, and so she wrapped all of the Christmas presents in my happy birthday paper and just wrote "Happy Birthday Jesus" on it.
Wow.
Nice.
That's a supervillain origin story for sure. So Martine,
Mhm.
let the people know, where they can find you, all the last second.
You can find me on Twitter at marsanjay47. That's MARSANJ47. The only thing that poll is just like I know at least that's not a team coming for points. I know.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
sorry. What?
Martine is taking up the points, like totem right there. Oh.
What? It's the truth. Come on.
That's how I felt all first season, Martine. It's okay. I totally understand.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's about it. That's all I gotta say.
Happy holidays.
Happy. Yeah. That too. Sure. Why not?
Randy, bring us home.
I am.
Can we ponder a question for next week?
Sure.
Yeah. I love how we cut off
Which superhero do you think is the most likely to have an OnlyFans? I want us to think about that.
That's clearly Hercules.
Accurate, and I am a top donor. Yes.
Gambit probably has an OnlyFans.
Yes.
Yeah.
On the female side,
Riley's got one.
maybe. I feel like Emma Frost has an OnlyFans, but she tricks you. Like she's actually wearing clothes, but you just think she's naked.
Yeah, that's a superpower.
How many OnlyFans does Mystique and Multiple Man have?
Oh,
They are the top 2%.
well, that's the thing about Multiple Man. Multiple Man doesn't ever like get down with himself, right?
Those X Factor books have some weird
You don't
shit
know what he does
happening
in his
them.
bedroom.
Madrox actually had a 5-issue solo, and I think he brought it up, and they never actually like clarified that he did not. So it's my headcanon that he does.
All right,
Would
fair.
be all.
The door is open for the Menage a Madrox.
I'm sure it leaves his door very open, very, very open.
Yeah. So he's up there. Mystique is definitely up there. She's number one.
Yeah.
Like, I would today subscribe to Mystique's OnlyFans, like, because you never know. You never know exactly what's there.
Right. What you could get with her.
Who else? Are any DC people on OnlyFans other than Harley?
I think Batman secretly has one.
Batman owns OnlyFans.
The
though.
Bat Family.
I think like that's his way to like relax.
You're not
Dick
going out
Grayson.
on patrol. Yeah, Dick of course has one.
Yeah.
Batman absolutely has one. Beast Boy.
He's got Juan has one. You know, just
What
one
about the
butt cheek
Penguin?
alone has it.
He said the Penguin. Only one.
Booster Gold.
Oh,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
For sure,
Yeah.
Booster Gold.
Yeah, Booster Gold definitely. I mean, purely from like a needing income sort of situation, Kyle. Purely from a needing income. Like,
Oh, and
that
Kyle's doing
motherfucker is-
wacky shit with his ring. Like he's
Yeah.
creating all types of funky constructs.
And
Like,
I
Yeah.
am living for it. Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
Kyle's
he's
OnlyFans
poor.
is probably lit.
he needs the money.
Aquaman definitely.
I can
I feel
Yeah,
like
but
It's like I could see it, and I would be signing up.
I feel like he would be
Beast
requested
Boy.
a lot, but Mira would be like, no.
is this a Jason Momoa Aquaman? Because yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the Jason Momoa Aquaman is definitely on OnlyFans, but
Beast Boy.
regular Beast Boy, yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
But would he get banned? He'd probably get banned from all the bestiality. Oh, John Constantine. John Constantine is definitely on OnlyFans.
Constantine and Zatanna. Yeah.
Together?
I mean, together and like each individually, but then it's like a special event. Oh, haha, see, guest star. Yeah.
Can I just say I'm gonna love it when somebody asks me like, "How was the podcast tonight?" And I'll be like, "Oh, it was great. We're talking about who have an OnlyFans."
see the high level discourse that brings to your platform.
Exactly. Oh, you know who's
Yeah,
definitely on
also-
OnlyFans? Iceman.
Yeah.
Oh,
I got another
and also
Oh,
Loki.
Fire and Ice, like Iceman and Pyro together, but also Fire and Ice on the DC side. Either one
Yeah.
of them, that would be such a show.
Yeah.
Kind of connected to Ice and also related to Kyle, Guy Gardner.
Ooh,
True. Underrated
Good job,
show.
Martine. High five.
I'm pretty sure that's not Guy Gardner, that's Ginger Hal Jordan.
Oh, that's shit.
I'm not actually a fan of Guy, except in that context.
Like, Guy's perfectly comfortable with his body. He will regularly wear nothing underneath his Green Lantern uniform, and then take off his ring. It's just like, I'm ready to go.
Isn't that how it's done on a daily basis?
Isn't he known for like famously mooning Batman on at least
He's
one?
Moon Batman. He's like Flash, like Sinestro, like just full on naked in space, like just.
Yeah, I'm
Here's
here
my
for
dick.
that. Oh, and Lobo by the same extension, him as well. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I don't want to see any parts of Lobo's OnlyFans because I feel like that's Deadpool's definitely on OnlyFans.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, for sure.
He keeps the mask on though.
with the mask.
Mhm.
Um, is that it? No, there's a whole bunch.
Plastic
We should
Man.
have had a whole episode dedicated to the OnlyFans. We will revisit this
Yeah,
on
we
another.
should
We
come
will,
back.
I
come
think we
back
should just
with-
reach out to OnlyFans and see if we can get like.
we will draft.
February.
We will
We
draft
talked
an
about them all the time.
OnlyFans team
We
in
still
one of the
have
off-season
February.
episodes.
We can let February be like our Valentine's Day episode. Okay, let's get super horny, everybody.
I
Oh my
mean,
god! I just got a really good
cuffing
idea.
season has been extended because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Oh man, I lost control of the show yet again. But hopefully, again, as I always say, if this is your first episode, I apologize. But we are, maybe about 14% less shenanigan laden from week to week. But tune in next week and we'll bring us, we'll recap round 3, we'll preview round 4, and hopefully we'll have the same wacky cast of characters talking about the same wacky things. And, we'll see how the poll turns out. We'll see who certain
Wait, slippery.
characters end up with, and who uses dirty polls. And until
Dirty
next
Paul.
Really, there's no need for the dirty poll.
Before we cut off,
Who
okay,
uses
let
dirty
me
polls?
before we cut off, let me just shamelessly plug. I sometimes attempt to be insightful and sometimes attempt to be funny on Twitter. If you check hashtag superpower list, that is the thing that I usually kind of vent my nerdy opinions on. So maybe you can find me there and potentially agree with me.
All right. Anyone else have things that they want to plug?
Not even. Like.
Yeah, so I got my OnlyFans.
Okay. Fair enough.
Let us pray.
Well, you can find us on Twitter at Racial Draft Pod. You can also find us on Instagram at racial.draft. You can find us on Facebook at Racial Draft Podcast. And, we're all over the place. We're just doing crazy things. You
Plugging
can also
things up.
find us on hashtag Africoa as we approach December 21st and our powers manifest. But
In
until
less than
next
2 hours.
in a few hours, exactly. By the time you're listening, we're already in your mind. But until next time, all things are
All
possible.
things are possible.